me nuts. Look, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Man, what a start to your Monday. Look at 303 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer, and Flounder at the controls. Look out here.
Oh, the day I was born.
Stand by. Really, seriously, I got to leave a little.
No, it's wrong. I'll come in and fix it at the next break, but it should go the other way.
One? I think it's backwards or something. I don't know.
I'll come in there and fix it in a minute.
I don't know who's. Can you? If you're looking on YouTube, no studio in the history of the world has ever been designed like this. There's not another studio in America where you would have a thing of this thing of a microphone. It's just there's no. I mean, there's no part. It's just. Anyway, it's all good. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Boys, weekend is over. Back at work again, and we got a weird show ahead of us. We'll tell you about that in a second. First of all, Pete Davis in the mountains of Macon. What's going on? I hate this microphone. All right, there we go. It's a little better there. Anyway, Pete, how was your weekend, and what's going on up there, sir?
You know our motto, different year, different complaints.
All right, sir. Oh, I see what he's doing there.
He's handling your microphone.
Yeah, no, that's something else happened.
Look at that.
Something screwed up. See, it's now bending where it's not supposed to be. No, that won't work. It's got to go over this way.
That's what she said.
Okay. Crap. Anyway, thank you, Flounder. We'll figure it out. So weekend plans? Or any fun stuff? It was kind of a funny weekend. Cold,
just
raining.
basically watched a lot of football, including the FCIS championship, which is very, very nice to have that done. Even though why they do it on a Sunday in the middle of NFL's last regular season game? Why would you do a college championship game in the middle of that? Nobody's watching.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we're going to do a lot of sports talk here. It's 3:05. Here's our number, 404-741-1230. First, I'll get into the program ahead of us. First of all, Flounder, a weekend happiness of goodness or anything unusual or fun or whatever?
No, kind of like Pete said, the weather was bad, so a lot of football, and then watched. Me and Veronica watched. It was on Netflix. It's called "All the Light We Cannot See," and it's a book, I guess, that won a Pulitzer Prize. And then they did a miniseries about it.
Well, and what could that possibly be? All the light we cannot see.
So it's during World War II, right when Germany starts to invade France.
Yeah,
and. Cool. There's a kid who's an orphan who is an expert with radio equipment. And so he's at an orphanage, and the Germans take him so he can help with radio stuff. And he ends up listening to a blind girl who goes on the radio every night, and she's from France, and she is doing code to the Americans just by doing radio
like the
and
underground.
reading.
Yeah, cool. So. Excellent. Well, did you enjoy it? Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it's like a 6-part series on Netflix.
So Miss Veronica's kind of a highbrow, kind of an intellectual, kind of a because she's hot in every way, which is good. But the fact that she has, she's into the esoteric things.
We just flipped around and saw it. So.
Well, opposites attract.
Well, there you are. 306 for the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Again, we love phone calls. Here's the number 404-741-1230, 741-1230. All right, we got a billion things. In terms of, I got some personal stuff. In terms of newsy things, we're going to do a lot of sports talk here coming up pretty quick. Are they still on at 4 o'clock? The Falcons news conference at 4 o'clock. Is that still correct? We don't know.
Maybe.
It's on schedule, so yeah.
All right, well, here's the deal. We are, whenever they do it, we're going to go live, at least for a while, to kind of see what's going on, what they say, and we'll sort of cover it live and see what happens. Okay, because we're live radio, and what the hell? Well, why not? And if it's boring, I can't. What are they going to say? And we don't know whether the coach is going to be there. And he was the first one to take it in the neck yesterday. It didn't last long.
12:01.
Yeah, bingo, bango, bongo. So that's the ball game. Well, I feel bad. The man lost his job. So now, is he going to get money? Is he still under contract? This was it, wasn't it? When last year?
Dude, he's with the FedEx empire. He doesn't need money.
Yeah.
Come on.
Anyway, whatever. So we'll have a change, and now we'll be talking about coaches, stuff like that, and what to do and what they should be doing. And now also the Falcons have, I think, the number 8 pick in the draft.
Again.
Yeah. Well, our last 2 players, we got a great running back, we got a great tight end, and now if we keep the pieces going, if we can maybe generate something.
That's a great running back and a great tight end if you use them.
Yeah.
But, when you have a coach that won't even use them. Yeah,
Right.
what do you
Well,
expect?
that's the key, obviously, is the more key players you have, then you have to have a strategy which takes advantage. Anyway, we've talked about it. So anyway, we'll do a lot of sports talk. Also, I have a complaint about the freaking playoff games, and I don't know what to do about it, but and I'll bet I'm not alone. I'll bet I'm not the only, and it isn't just old farts. How is it possible that a network, or that the NFL could allow a network to determine where a playoff game is held and who is able to watch?
No. This has nothing to do with the network. The NFL decided to do this because the NFL will do whatever it wants to do and doesn't give a damn about the fans.
Well, that's what I was saying. How could they possibly make this decision?
Money.
Yeah, well... And frankly, that's why I realized two things, Pete. I realized over the weekend, I actually did not watch either of the games Saturday or Sunday, NFL games Saturday or Sunday, which is where, when you start getting in this time of year, you got NFL games on Saturdays as well as Sundays. Mm-hmm. And I just, honestly, I didn't watch a minute. I don't think I was doing stuff, but I didn't say, oh boy, I can't wait, there's an extra NFL game on today. You know what I mean? I just didn't, I just don't have any interest. Maybe it's the teams playing. But it just seems that they're, how could they put it on a private pay-per-view thing?
When you could watch it last weekend, you didn't. And this Saturday night, you're going to go, hey, the Kansas City Chiefs are playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to watch
I won't be able to see it. No. Maybe I'll get me a weekend woman or something. She's got a place if I get by Friday.
Go visit her.
Yeah. Let's see. And also, I've got kind of a Holy Crap of Sports is coming up. Pete's Sportscast, a little after 5. And in that, I will try to remember a comment I made watching an old golf tournament and think it might be kind of bizarre. Let's see. Hold on. We got a million things here. Some breaking news also about the latest dump of the Jeffrey Epstein documents, including now some photographs. Before I forget, a couple of things, actually, before we get to the actual newsy things. And by the way, I'm not going to play any of President White Trash's comments over the weekend at the January 6th stuff, or even today at the today he basically blamed Donald Trump for the church shooting. Where he's making his appearance today. It's unbelievable. The lies and the filth and the hatred, the division. This was supposed to be the president who brought everybody together. He said those comments and then hid in his basement. He's bringing us together. Bye-bye, can't talk to you now. And that's how he got himself elected. He's the most divisive president we've ever had. He followed perfectly in Putty-Tat steps. Barack Hussein Putty-Tat, the divider-in-chief. Ferguson, Missouri, the Boston professor. We can name them all. It's just appalling. And you're not going to hear it on I'm not going to play his comments because he's a disgraceful, lousy, stinking liar and a hate-filled hate monger.
He once again used the phrase, the biggest thing in the problem in America is white supremacy.
Yep.
And I figured out why he's doing that. He, in his mind, believes that every machination of American life should be handed over to people of color, that white people should have no power whatsoever. And it seems that everything he's doing is to assure that.
Well, I think it's because, Pete, as we know, he was brought up as both a Puerto Rican and a black guy and went to black churches all his life. So I guess, what a despicable slime bag. He said it again. They played it on the Fox News at 3 o'clock, where him saying the biggest problem in America today is white supremacy. Baloney. There's a bigger problem with tranny supremacy. They're doing more damage than so-called white supremacists. Oh, God, at least lately. 312 got him so late on the we haven't even started the news stuff yet. Boom. Let's see. Cindy Morgan passed away. Lacey Underall from she's visiting us for the summer. Yes.
My niece.
It's the kind of girl who has a certain zest for living. The last thing any of us needs right now is for any loose talk about her behavior. I swear I haven't said anything. Oh, good. How about a Fresca? I can do the whole freaking movie. I swear to God. Caddyshack, Cindy Morgan. She was the wrong girl for the role, but she was great in it. No, she was the wrong girl. She was. It was not the right part for her.
She was perfect.
It was great. It was great. But anyway, and she died at 69, and I don't think we still know why. Do we? It didn't say
natural
cancer.
Causes. Well, they're saying natural causes. I don't know what that means.
And also, there's a latest single out, and we're going to do a call on longer here, Flounder. Well, also, Flounder's Funny's coming up. Holy Crap at Sports, Pete's Tweets. We got a whole bunch of things on last night's TV show. Oh, my God, coming up. And Taylor Swift is in the new, all this stuff. But first, if you haven't seen this, it popped up on my phone. That Hitler movie where people on social media changed the dialogue to make it something.
The bunker?
My favorite, it's a Hitler movie where he's all ticked off with his staff and they're all afraid to say anything to him. My favorite dialogue was where he's ticked off in a motorcycle charity ride and he gets a Honda instead of a Harley and he's all ticked off. Well, what popped up on my phone is called Dementia Hitler. They use that movie and the soundtrack of the written words of it are of talking about his dementia and that Trump is leading in the polls and there's resistance by Generation X. And it said, "Mein Führer, the Supreme Court is going to hear the case of Trump." He goes nuts. I mean, it's called Dementia Hitler on Twitter. It's freaking hysterical. I love those things. I wish I had the talent to do them because I'd play them all. 314, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Come on, get in the ball game. It's Monday. We're talking sports and good stuff and politics and the Golden Globes. And guess who they gave the first stand-up comedian award to and then got ticked off about? 314, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
All-new Extra 106.3 app is loaded with conservative voices you want, including anytime replays of The Morning Extra and The Kimmer Show. Plus, you have unlimited free access to Extra's live stream, so you can hear Atlanta's only conservative news talk station no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android and start streaming Atlanta news and talk the right way.
Witness the new era of Georgia Tech men's basketball under the guidance of their new head coach, NBA great Damon Stoudemire. Coach Stoudemire has brought the excitement back to the Thriller Dome, and you can be a part of it. Don't miss the next home game presented by Kroger when Notre Dame visits McCamish Pavilion on Tuesday, January 9th at 9 p.m. Great seats are still available for purchase, and you can get more information at ramblinrec.com. Hurry up and grab your tickets to experience the thrill and excitement of Georgia Tech basketball. Sting 'em. Horizon Background Screening is a fully licensed and insured private investigations firm that focuses on litigation support for law firms, criminal defense cases, and background investigations. We are also FCRA compliant and process pre-employment background checks, tenant screening, and background checks for volunteer organizations. Whether your business is a law firm needing anything from scene investigations to witness interviews, or a company that requires pre-employment background checks, we have the experience you need. Visit horizonscreening.com to learn more. That's horizonscreening.com.
I got a question. Is your dog a picky eater? Or maybe has bad breath, dull coat, low energy, or even some digestive issues? Greetings. I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, founder of Rough Greens, and for decades, I've taught humans how nutrition is critical for our optimal health. Well, the same is true for our furry family members, which is why I created Rough Greens, because unfortunately, dog food is dead food. But Rough Greens is packed with live omega oils, essential vitamins and minerals, powerful probiotics, digestive enzymes, and tons of other things. And your dog will love it. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve their health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens, the easy and smart way to improve your dog's health and longevity. My dogs and I are so confident your dog's going to love it, we're going to give you a free Jumpstart trial bag. All you have to do is cover the shipping. Get your dog a free Jumpstart trial bag today by going to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com.
And now I got to be honest with you here about this record, but it's something you know right now. I don't know anything about this Morgan Wallen person. Morgan Wallen. Well, there you go. I can't even say the man's name. Boy, there's some. Well, now I know it because I've heard this. I was thinking it was a rock and roll group, and that's stupid. Talk about down home country. Holy cow. I like it. I like the song. I don't know what the words are, but I like the music. Morgan Wallen, on this day, 2021, released Dangerous, the double album with the hit 7 Summers. Peaked at number 1, stayed there for 10 weeks. Longest run since Drake's Views in 2016. In March of 22, the album was the all-time record for the longest duration in the number 1 spot, 84 weeks and counting. Holy cow. It achieved the most weeks in the top 10 of Billboard 200 by a solo studio album, Morgan Wallen, Dangerous. Wow, I guess I haven't been listening to country music. In fact, I just realized I don't even listen to music anymore, and almost never on the radio. Isn't that weird? That's not true. I listen to my own. Flounder puts together my music magic stick stuff. But anyway, let's see. Birthday list. I used to watch this guy. I thought he was kind of a smarmy little dweeby guy, but I appreciated his humor and his dryness and his sense of seemingly decency and his intellect. Charles Osgood, 90 years old. I think didn't he used to do the thing on Sunday mornings on CBS?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I remember and
the Osgood file.
Yeah. And I don't really think of anything specific. Didn't he wear a little bow tie?
Yeah, he had a bow tie, and we used to play those at the old radio station. Howard Gunter always wanted to play the Osgood file, and I was the one that typed in the headline for it, the title. And my favorite one, he read. Howard would read anything.
If you read it, he'll say it. Yeah,
it's
like Anchorman. Yes, it is.
Is it a black hole or just Uranus? And he read it, and here he read it, and he's not looking at me, but he knows I'm looking at him and laughing through the window. And all he did is he just turned. He didn't turn. He just put his finger up and flipped me off like this.
Yeah, it's still too late then, by that time. Charles Osgood, 90 years old. Good for him. And on this day in history, 1999, rapist, perjurer, and Democrat hero Bill Clinton goes on trial at his impeachment for lying under oath. Later, they also added obstructing justice, witness tampering, abuse of power. But of course, even with Paula Jones and Monica Lewinsky, no way to find him guilty because, as you know, Republicans don't have any balls. Let's see what else. That's Kimmer and Pete and Flounder. How you doing? 320-404-741-1230. 741-1230. Okay, again, Falcons are going to have a news conference around 4 o'clock. If they still do, we're going to cover it live, or at least parts of it. We'll go dip in and out. It'll be the announcing, we know that they've fired their coach. I assume they have not got a new one. They're going to have some kind of commitment. Now, they must have been thinking about this for a long time. They have, 15 or 20 general managers or executives, so they must have had some kind of plan in place over the last several weeks to say, okay, what happens if he gets fired? So
I'm sure.
Now, do you have any?
Always the wrong plan.
And again, we're going to do politics here in just a second. But just real quickly, do you have any Pete Davis? Any favorites of your own that we'll talk about later after 5 o'clock, or thoughts about the president, Bill Parcells, or anybody?
Bill Parcells, he's like 100 years old.
I know.
You're thinking about Bill Belichick.
I mean, Bill Belichick, yeah, sorry.
That's the sad thing. Most of the odds makers are saying that it's going to be Belichick, and if you think about it, Arthur Blank doesn't have many more coaching hires to go.
Yeah.
He might want to try and grab a guy who has actually won Super Bowls. He's never hired a former coach. He's always hired new guys.
Yeah.
So this would be the first one. He may think, well, how can I go wrong with Belichick? But I will ask the question again. What has Belichick won without Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, yeah. I mean, he was a special case. Who knows? Maybe a number 8 drafting position, something might happen.
I don't want him anywhere near here. I don't want Belichick here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway, we'll talk more after 5 o'clock with Pete Dad. 322, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Okay, and again, the Falcons coming up. I got to organize my stuff here. We got a fairly new story. I got my iPad working here. That's very cool. Let's see, Falcons over here, iPad over here. There we go. All right, now, more dumps from the Jeffrey Epstein case. We'll talk about the Golden Globes shortly here as well. A lot of stuff on that today. Now, a new dump, and this is just coming down. The new Jeffrey Epstein file dump of this afternoon. There were a couple of them today, a morning one and then just recently. Photos of young girls on his private island are included in the latest dump. The show girls and young girls and women in 2006, as well as his madam and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in prison for 20 years. The only person in prison for the Jeffrey Epstein scandalous worldwide trafficking of young girls case, the only person in prison is a girl. The photos were part of a filing about accuser Sarah Ransom, who was not part of the proceedings but was in the inner workings of his massage network. They referred to Ghislaine Maxwell as Mama Bear. The photos unequivocally establish her presence on the island. We already know that. Let's see. Claimed all the girls who were taken to Epstein's private island were provided Victoria's Secret bikinis and nightwear. Some of Ransom's deposition had already been made public. Ghislaine claimed they were lying about their allegations. Alan Dershowitz wants it all public because he has nothing to hide. Now here we go. After learning that this girl Ransom's deposition would be unsealed, Dershowitz's lawyers asked the court to disclose a series of her emails that argued to show she's not credible. This is important. This girl has made unsubstantiated claims about former President Bill Clinton and Richard Branson. In statements that were later retracted, she claimed Clinton, Branson, and the British Prince Andrews, who settled a separate lawsuit with her, were all filmed having sex with her friend by Epstein himself. Filmed it. She said sex tapes were in fact filmed on each separate occasion by Jeffrey. Her emails are a necessary antidote to Ms. Ransom's deposition misstatements because they demonstrate she manifestly lacks credibility, according to Alan Dershowitz's lawyers. Let's see. She wrote, in addition to accusations against Clinton and Branson, the emails described Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage as that evil bitch and hurled more unsubstantiated sexual accusations at Donald Trump. Neither one of them has been accused of wrongdoing in connection with the actual crimes. Let's see. The spokesman for the Branson Company posted that the girl invented the claims about sex tapes but did not mention the British billionaire by name. We confirm Sarah's claims are baseless and unfounded. Maxwell never reached a settlement. Massage was a code word for sex. That's what they used to call it. It's a key word for sex. She witnessed Epstein having sex with a model-turned-pilot, Nadia Masenkova, on his plane. Oh, my God. She saw Jeffrey Epstein having sex with the pilot, who was a model, on his plane in plain view. She liked a time with Epstein to a dungeon of sexual hell. She claimed Ghislaine Maxwell would bully girls who didn't comply with Epstein's sexual demands, and the traffickers broke their promise to pay for her college education in New York. Well, this is getting freakier and freakier. It also, now here's another important part of the story. Donald Trump is named in the latest documents. It's just kind of a reference there just a moment ago. This girl, Sarah Ransom, said she was working with a Daily Mail columnist named Callahan. They worked for the Post. She said she, in her claims that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and Richard Branson were having sex with girls Jeffrey supplied them with. And then she said a friend of hers has slept with Bill Clinton and Richard Branson. And then she retracted all the claims, saying she wanted to walk away from it for fears of her family. In 2019, she admitted to inventing the tapes. No footage has ever been publicly uncovered. The FBI took pictures of evidence but didn't seize it when they, like the idiots, because they wanted to help him get away with it, probably in cahoots with the Biden family. The Ransom said the girl confided in me about her casual relationship with Donald Trump. She claims to have seen footage by her. Been sent footage by her friend showing her having sex with Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Branson. She admitted she had invented the tapes later on and confirmed their claims are baseless and unfounded. Donald Trump hasn't responded to this latest filing, and that just came out today. She said, Mr. Trump definitely seemed to have a thing for this young girl and told me how he kept going on about how he liked a certain part of her anatomy and liked doing certain things from her. The court unsealed 17 exhibits today. The first one was a list of Maxwell and everybody who worked for Epstein using a secret server to communicate called MindSpring, used by household staff. Also, Maxwell only provided discovery materials from some of her email accounts, so they're still apparently hiding stuff as well. Let's see. Oh, man. Anyway, there's more coming out about this. We'll keep you posted. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, and it's kind of related to, you know, the actor Mark Ruffalo? He's now come out as a real freaking screaming Trump-hating socialist. He's one of the guys who swears he's going to move into Canada with all the rest of his friends. Well, here's how bad, and this ties into AI, and it ties into the hate from the President White Trash's family, and the stuff he said over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and again today, about white supremacy being America's biggest problem and dividing the country, calling all of us dangerous. Oh, hell, and we'll get about Jack Smith, the prosecutor, saying that I guess on January 20th of next year, after Trump wins the election, that we'll be able to kill all the Democrats, according to them. Anyway, here's what Mark Ruffalo has now been up to. This freaky far-left socialist actor, blinded with his hatred for Donald Trump and us MAGA supporters, even though we may not be Trump supporters, we're definitely MAGA supporters. He posted faked AI-generated images of Donald Trump with young girls and claimed he had been caught with pictures of young girls on Epstein's Sodomy Island. When he got caught that they were fake, instead of admitting his mistake and failing to spend even a minute of due diligence, he blamed Elon Musk for allowing it to go on X. He said, it's your fault. You allowed it to go on there. Instead of he focused his hatred on Donald Trump rather than the actual issue of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. He used Trump headed to Epstein Island with 2 AI-generated photos of Donald Trump surrounded by little girls. And then he said, again, he posted the fake pictures of Trump with little girls on Epstein's Island and then said in his commentary, gross, MAGA wants to paint everyone in these flights as pedophiles except the one guy who smiles and a group of young girls all headed to Epstein's fantasy island with him. My bet is there are some decent Republicans left in America that may think this is going too far. Oh, my God. You dirty, filthy slime bag. I mean, this degeneracy is as bad as it gets. I mean, honestly, I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is so much worse than during Watergate and the fake Ed Muskie papers to make him cry about his wife or mother or something. I mean, this is way overboard from those days. Remember Donald Segretti and the bad boys of the Nixon campaign? Wow, that's like Boy Scouts cutting a fart in church. 3:30, come here, Pete and Flounder. Look out. Oh, man.
Extra 106.3 has your afternoons covered with an Atlanta legend. The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6.
Hey, Jeff, you're on the radio. How's it going, man? What's up?
The main reason I was calling is just to say I'm really happy to have you guys back on the air again. I was a big fan of the show back in the 80s. One of the big things that I really love about the new format, I do not miss every 5 freaking minutes of traffic and weather. Holy cow.
Yeah.
The Kimmer Show is back every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
A new Braves season is around the corner, and tickets are on sale. The Braves' home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups, including the Texas Rangers in April, Red Sox in May, and Phillies in July. Plus, you better get your tickets now for when Shohei and the Dodgers head to Truist Park in September. 2024 will also be more amazing gate giveaways, like the Ronald Acuna Jr. bobblehead trio commemorating his record-breaking season. Replica chain giveaways featuring Michael Harris II and Orlando Arcia, a City Connect replica jersey, and the list goes on. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the amazing giveaways throughout the season and purchase your tickets. And fan favorite specialty ticket packages are back in 2024, including the Military Appreciation, Father's Day Catch on the Field, Star Wars, and more. Visit Braves.com/packages to see these special packages and the exclusive items that come along with your game ticket. Atlanta Braves baseball for the A.
Hi, I'm Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack. We specialize in only foundation repair. What makes Atlanta Ramjack special is the crews. Our crews are the most experienced people in the industry. Foundation repairs has many aspects. We do helical piers, hydraulically driven piles, we do polyfoam injection, we pressure grout, we do carbon fiber reinforcement. There's multiple solutions to foundation repairs. If you see any signs of foundation issues, please contact us at atlantaramjack.com.
It's January 8th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. It's National Joy Germ Day. It's a day that's created to remind everyone that being positive and treating one another with kindness can influence those around us, and they'll pass along the joy germ to others. So laugh, smile, and just be a little bit more kind to everyone you meet today. Also on this date, the first president, George Washington, delivered the nation's first State of the Union address in 1790. African-American men were granted the right to vote in Washington, D.C. in 1867, despite a veto by President Andrew Johnson. If it's your birthday today, you share it with the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, born in 1935. Renowned physicist, the late Stephen Hawking, who authored A Brief History of Time, was born in Oxford, England in 1942. And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, born in 1983. I'm Tushar Saxena, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Look out. 334, how's it going? It's only me, it's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls. There's a number, 404-741-1230, 1230. The David Bowie action there for you today. That sort of thing. I could never get into it. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, 2016 on this day, David Bowie released his 25th and final studio album, Black Star, coincided with his 69th birthday on this day and 2 days before he died. 2016 became, God, was it 2016 that David Bowie died? Is that 8 years? Well, 7 plus some weeks. But anyway, 25 dropped it down. His first and only album to reach number one on the... Oh, this is amazing. Became his 25th last album was the only one to reach number one in America. At the 59th annual Grammys, the album won an award for Best Alternative Music, Best Engineered Album, Best Recording Package, and the title single won Best Rock Performance and Best Rock Song. The album also awarded the British Album of the Year at the 2017 awards. And this all happened today in 2016, David Bowie, on his birthday. Quick other birthdays. Let's see. Did you ever watch 8 is Enough, the TV show? Joni Bradford, 8 is Enough. 77-year-old Lori Walters. That's her. 8 is Enough. Who was a bald guy, and in fact, his kid is a famous director. He does a lot of the, I think, Breaking Bad movies and Fargo and stuff like that. Isn't if I'm not mistaken? Let's see. On this day in history, 1958, Bobby Fischer won the first U.S. chess championship at age 14. It was the first of 8 wins over the next 9 years. Bobby Fischer on this day in 1958. And man, what a, by the way, there's a great movie about him, by the way, too. So I think Searching for Bobby Fischer or Seeking Bobby Fischer or something like that, I think. It's pretty cool. And what a freakoid. Didn't he just die a couple years ago in Iceland or something? Didn't he escape to Iceland, I believe? I think that's where he was hiding out. Anyway, 336. We'll do more politics stuff here in a moment. First of all, I want to do a little thing, some stuff about the Golden Globes. In fact, now, okay, for the record, Pete Davis, did you watch any of the Golden Globes last night? Was it last night? Last night.
0%.
0%. Flounder, how about you? And Miss Veronica, maybe you watch any Golden Globes?
Negative.
Negativatory, okay. Well, again, now I deliberately, there wasn't much on last night, too, and I was working for the show. Was it last night or Saturday? Sunday nights, right? Sunday, that was last night, yeah. Everything kind of runs together with the Kimmer. It was Asian cheerleader weekend at the Kimmer's house, so I'm a little overtired. So I made it a point to watch the very beginning. Actually, I was DVRing. I just went back to it, but to watch the beginning to see what it was like, if they were going to do anything stupid or whatever like they normally would. And sure enough, all of a sudden we get this host, Joe Coy. I've never heard of him.
Who?
I literally have never heard that name and what a face. It looked like he was, there was something wrong with his face. it was like he was like 60 trying to look 22, or there was something going on bad about his face or his hair, or it was like they glued on his.
He's bald.
Is that I don't.
I've played him. I've played him on some of Flounder's funnies.
Wow. I hope we laughed when you played him, because the stuff last night was horrible. Did you hear any? Have you heard any playback of it?
No, I got the Taylor Swift one, if we want to play that one.
Yeah, in fact, let's do it in a second, because I'm going to talk about her. But some of the, honest to God, it was the worst opening I've ever seen in my life. He tried to make a joke about long time. He said, I've had a long time question in front of me. Yes, about Oppenheimer. The movie Oppenheimer answered a long time question for me. Yes, scientists do get laid as long as they look like Cillian Murphy. Okay. Now, that was about as funny the reaction as, even the critics are saying painfully unfunny jokes. Just like, hey, Barbie's just about a plastic doll with big boobies. Woo-woo! He wondered whether some guy's fake unit was Bradley Cooper's fake nose for the movie Maestro. Let's see. The crowd didn't respond. Oh, this killed me. I actually did watch this. I was cringeworthy, literally cringeworthy. And when the crowd wasn't responding, he awkwardly drew attention to the very moment, berating his own A-listers. He said, yo, I got the big gig here 10 days ago. Give me a break. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. I wrote some of those myself, and those are the ones you're going to laugh at. Oh, my. Just like that.
Well, it's no surprise. He got his stardom from Chelsea Handler, so that's pretty much. God. She's never been funny either. So
he blamed everybody else for the bad jokes. Oh my God! it was just horrible. Horrible. There's some other lowlights. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. In fact, Flounder, if you would, let's get his comment on Taylor Swift. Taylor was totally unimpressed. Here's what he said as he spotted Taylor Swift in the crowd.
Welcome back. As you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to.
Oh, the crowd goes
Sorry
wild.
about that.
Oh, jeez. I swear there's more to go to. The camera then panned to Taylor, remained straight-faced, taking a sip of her drink. Personally, if Taylor Swift glared like that at me on national television, one guy said I'd walk right out of that place and leave the country. And by the way, for the record, Taylor Swift has said many times she doesn't know when she's on the big screen while she's at a football game cheering on her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. She says, I don't know what's sweet. I don't know how they even know where I am. There's a camera half a mile away. I don't know when it's on. I don't know when they're looking at me. I'm just trying to hear to support my boyfriend. She cheered loudly as Emma Stone was awarded the Golden Globe for Best Performance by a female actor in a motion picture. And then Taylor was photographed taking a selfie with Bill Hader, the star of Barry, the Contract Killer series. And she reunited with longtime friend Selena Gomez, who wore a short red gown for the occasion. Her boyfriend...
They called her and Selena gossiping about one of the Jenner girls.
Oh, is that what it was? Let's see. Taylor. Somebody were saying about this guy trying to make a joke at Taylor was a horrible joke. Meaner comments were far crueler to how he talked about Robert De Niro. He said, "How'd you get your girl pregnant at age of 80? CGI?" That got a big response, and De Niro replied by glaring at him. And someone said, Taylor Swift just ended the guy's career with one glare. Another one said that Taylor Swift death glare was the nail in the coffin. I
want him dead. Yeah. I want his family dead.
And by the way, the funniest moment for me or the most awkward moment for me was when Jim Gaffigan, who I've never, he's the pop-up guy, right? What's the pop-up? The toaster pop-up eating thing. It's a breakfast thing. You take it out of a pack, you throw it in a toaster, and it pops up. What's the name of the damn?
Pop-Tarts?
Yeah. But he does this jingle about it. And he does this whole campaign thing. I'm just floundering here terribly. But Jim Gaffigan, to me, has never been funny. Well, here's what happened. I made a special announcement And then it was like a total letdown when it came true. Flounder, can we start off with his first comments, if possible? Jim Gaffigan.
The Golden Globes. I mean, I can't even believe I'm in the entertainment industry. I can't. It's so unlikely.
Oh, whoops, this is the wrong one. Hold on.
That's all right. You can play. Keep playing. Yeah.
I'm here to present an all-new category. All right? An all-new category. I am honored to present this award. Stand-up comedy is a brutal business. And thanks to Netflix, people get overpaid for it. But the nominees for Best Performance in Stand-Up Comedy on Television. And the Golden Globe goes to Ricky Gervais.
How funny is that? Jim Gaffigan announces they're all going nuts, a brand new category, stand-up comedian finally gets its due at the Golden Globes after 81 years, and we're so proud to have this new category, and then they give it to the guy who bashed him and made fun of him over the Jeffrey Epstein business a couple of years ago. It was in 2020, I think we played the other day, and so they give the award to the guy who mocked them and made fun of them, and of course the audience said, screw you. I mean, the whole thing was a typical disaster. They try to show, we're going to salute the stand-up comedians and to give it to the guy who hates them and mocked them, and then they hate him in return. I mean, it figures. It just, whatever happened to the days of a family sitting around the TV and say, oh, look at all the beautiful gowns, and they're all the happy people, and just, it was just entertainment. It was just, go to the movies. It was just a little Hollywood, it wasn't tarnished, it wasn't political, my God. It's just, does everything have to turn to crap? I mean, seriously.
Why did they just hire a comedian host 10 days before the Golden Globes?
Well,
what was up with that?
Yeah, he said, I just got this gig 10 days ago. And apparently, let's see. Well, I should read one of the critics wrote this, if I can find it. After much drama in the past, which resulted in the train wreck of the 2022 ceremony getting pulled from broadcast due to controversies around parent organization, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, the ceremony returned to TV this year. And again, because of all, they don't know what to do. I mean, and it's their own fault. I mean, you have what you have. Here's what you got. And by the way, Gaffigan, his first comments, he was saying, he tried to be funny. Oh, Flounder just told me it was Hot Pockets. That's what it was. Jim Gaffigan does Hot Pockets. He does a whole campaign comedy routine around Hot Pockets. That's all I remember about him. Anyway, just sorry.
How dare you, sir, besmirch the good name of Pop-Tarts by combining them with Hot Pockets?
Now, are those the one? Actually, I don't even know now, what are... In fact, I'm trying to remember which one.
Pop-Tarts are little pastries, little square pastries.
Yeah, you put them in a toaster, right?
Strawberry, yeah.
Yeah. Now, and what are Hot Pockets? Oh, Hot Pockets are fatter. I
like
got
a burrito of meat.
You can get like ones with pizza with pepperoni and cheese in it. Or stuff like
they're
that.
despicable.
That's right. Yeah, they're also hot. If you heat them up in a microwave, they just burn. I mean, they don't taste like they're roasted.
That's why they're called Hot Pockets.
Yeah, but I mean,
Hot Pockets.
But if you cook something, if you bake a pastry, it tastes like a baked pastry. If you put those in the microwave or something, it tastes like you're just going to burn your face off.
They're not for eating. People don't realize this. They're not edible. You're supposed to heat them up and put them in your pockets to heat up your pants on a cold day.
Well, see, I was totally misinformed. 346 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. We've learned something every day.
Start your day with live and local conservative talk with Tug, Rhino, and Carlos Medina on the Morning Extra.
What has Trump said that was racist? Because he called it the China virus? That's what we're running on? Well, then are you racist if you say I'm ordering Chinese food?
Yes, you have to be.
Oh, okay. May I have some food that
derives from an Asian...
What do you want to order? I can't say it.
I can't say it. It's racist.
The Morning Extra. Now every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. Only on Extra 106.3.
You hear us talk a lot about the great products that Howard Brothers sells and supports, but the best thing about Howard Brothers is their people. They have folks who've been there for 10, 20, 30, even 40 years, and they wake up every morning excited to get to work to serve you. It's personal relationships that they build with their customers. You can't go to a big box store and be personally known like you are by the folks at Howard Brothers. It's nice to know that you are supporting a locally family-owned business that does so much for their employees and their community. Happy New Year from our friends at Howard Brothers.
As we start 2024, Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank everyone for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 27th annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 with carrier rebates, the best in the business. At Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. And Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 27th annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
By the way, I forgot to... Oops. I thought she paused for a second. Sorry, Shirley Bassey. There we go. Hey, man. One of the great themes, Goldfinger, 1964. Shirley Bassey. I was going to say, I forgot to mention, Flounder pointed out, and I looked in the wrong sheet, when we were playing David Bowie, was on his birthday. His real name is David Jones, and he changed it to avoid being confused with Davy Jones of the Monkees. The true story. Anyway, David Jones. Shirley Bassey is 87. She sang the themes to 3 007 movies. Goldfinger in 1964. Diamonds Are Forever in 1971. And Moonraker with a hideous... what was that? Roger Moore? Was that his name? Or Roger somebody? Moonraker in 1979. Sean Connery was Bond in the first 2. The other movie was Roger Moore. And the only thing good about that movie, or one of the ones that Roger Moore was in, where he was riding a horse at some stable for something, and it was one of the most beautiful horses, big, beautiful, black, monster, stallion-looking. Wow. Anyway, really cool. That's Shirley Bassey, 87. Happy birthday, congratulations. On this day... in history, 1946, Elvis Presley turned 11. It's his birthday today, and he got his first guitar in 1946 when he was 11.
Did you know he was blonde and dyed his hair dark?
Elvis?
Yeah, I just found that out the other day.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, because he was more of a striking appearance in photos and on film when he had dark hair as opposed to blonde hair.
Well, then there's got to be a baby picture of somebody of blonde Elvis when he was like 5 or 7 years old or something, right? How could he not have any school pictures? I don't believe that. I can't believe it. That hair, that did not look like a dyed job to me. I mean, I don't believe that. I think I think somebody's handing you a bibbidi boppity. I just don't believe it. I'm throwing the flag on that one. 351.
I'm looking it up right as we speak.
All right.
Actually, okay. Amazingly, Elvis was actually a natural blonde until his late teens when his hair began to grow darker, but it wasn't natural. He would dye it a shade of brown called mink brown, and at one point he used black shoe polish because there's a photo of him blonde.
Well, I'll be damned. Well, then I will accept if it's photo. Well, it could be AI, it could be CGI, it could be AI. Could be all those things, fake things, fake. Who knows? Got his first guitar at 11 in 1946. And on this day in 1993, the Elvis Presley postage stamp for 29 cents was issued near Graceland. The U.S. Postal Service held a vote in 1992. Fans chose the skinny Elvis over the fat Elvis by 800,000 to 200,000. So that was good. Let me write this down here. We'll get those off the list. Oh man, I was just going to tell you something else, and I forgot what it was. Oh, I hate doing that. Anyway, I'll figure it out later. We'll do more political stuff here in a second. One more quick thing on Taylor Swift. Again, 3:52. Oh, by the way, Flounder has just now found out we may be going to the Falcons news conference shortly. They may be starting at 3:55-ish. It's 3:52.
Yeah, it says right now, from what I'm looking at, it's going to start in about 6 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to go to it now. Obviously, not when they're introducing the crowd. And I'd like to thank my followers for all the when we get to when they start talking, we'll switch to it, even if it's during the 4:00 news coming up here. And see what they say, and we'll stay as long as we feel like it, and we'll keep you posted. Now, a quick thing about Taylor Swift again. This is man, the poor girl. Honestly, I don't like her politics, and I never will. And I'm not. She's not my type. My type of like a sexually attracted type thing. So it has nothing to do with that. But I love the fact that I think she's finally allowing herself to be a girl in the most womanly way. And I mean that with no disrespect in any possible way. I'm happy for her and him, and I hope it's a real thing. But here's what's going on now. She can't catch a break. Taylor Swift now an object for the New York Times. There's an opinion piece on the New York Times which now suggests that Taylor Swift is actually a lesbian. The opinion piece has been looking at every move since her statements and things she's done, or clues about her hidden sexuality. The article generated massive backlash. One, just cancel my subscription. It's sexist and grossly inappropriate. Another, throwing ethics out the window early this year. Wow. This essay is a fireable offense. Poorly written, horribly invasive, objectionable in myriad ways. It is galling and weird that the New York Times would publish a speculative piece on someone's gender identity. This is beneath the editorial standards of New York Times opinion. Do better. Another, I'm not a big fan of hers, but I'm totally disgusted by this and will be canceling my New York Times subscription tomorrow morning. Taylor Swift had an album she released in re-released her album 1989. Her version of it in 2014 originally came out. She said it was clear there's no such thing as casual dating, even having a male friend. They assume you're sleeping with them. So I swore off hanging with guys, and flirting or dating could be used against me like a weapon. They claim to believe in liberating women, but consistently treat me with the harsh moral codes of Victorian era. She spent more time with her girl squad, her friend group of highly successful females. I assumed I could fix this to simply changing my behavior, but no. If I only hang out with female friends, people couldn't sensationalize that, could they? Oh, yes, I guess they could. She asked people to stop doing all that stuff. Reading in her album cover, she's only dated men publicly, ignoring public statements by the singer, misrepresenting events, ignoring obvious answers. The op-ed written by a girl named Anna Marks addressed Taylor Swift's latest relationship. This is just, to me, is cruel. Anna Marks, a girl at the New York Times. By the way, what's her claim to fame that I should care about her freaking opinion? I mean, seriously, who the hell is Anna Marks? Why should I believe anything you say? In fact, I don't anymore after this. She addressed Taylor Swift's relationship with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, questioning if the relationship is a romance for the ages, strategic brand partnership, performance art for entertainment's sake. I mean, you slimy little slime bag girl, Anna Marks. Yeah, I bet nobody's making you go over the cliff every night and wake up in the morning, too. I'll bet you probably, Jeez. Anyway, I mean, just nonsense. And, of course, Taylor's fans are going crazy. And I don't blame them. I mean, this is just horrible, just horrible. All right, we're waiting to see if we're going to do a news conference with the Falcons. We're going to do it when they do it, maybe in a couple of minutes. First of all, Pete Davis sent over the weekend, of course, when you're in the radio business or news business, talk business, you're always working. So if you see something or hear something, we all have notebooks in our cars and all over the house and stuff. And over the weekend, Pete sent a story about Lauren Boebert. And the latest thing, Lauren Boebert was that hot babe congresswoman from Colorado who was caught in the darkened theater making out and fondling her date, and he was fondling her. And it was pretty risque. I mean, it was really cool. It was unbelievable. It made my nipples hard as a rock reading about it. Anyway, that was her claim to fame during what she thought was a darkened theater, but they obviously were singling her out to see if they could catch her at something. Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman. Anyway, she's that little hottie with glasses, little teeny little thing. And now she's been charged. Her husband has accused her of punching him in the nose. And so the police came to investigate. And when Pete sent that story about Lauren Boebert denies punching her ex-husband in the nose because he made lewd advances at her at a restaurant, I said, oh my God, I want this woman so bad. She just gets me all tingly, honest to God. I mean, what a chick. I mean, I just, oh man. Anyway, she was dining at this place called Miller's Claim in Silt, Colorado, I guess they're calling it now. Anyway, and apparently her husband wanted to apologize after an earlier fight they had when she went to go pick up her kids at his house. They had a fight. He said, well, I want to apologize. So she said, well, let's do it at a public restaurant so you can't be a goofball about it. Apparently, he started being disrespectful at the restaurant and got lewd. And then, according to the people who were there, made a motion toward his ex-wife to grab her. The aide said it was it was an aggressive move, not a romantic move. He grabbed at her. She tried to keep him back by throwing her hands up in his face and apparently hit his nose. And so this guy, the husband, talk about a smarmy little pimp. Lauren Boebert says, I'm consulting my lawyer about the false claims he made. He called the cops. Her husband called the cops and said he was a victim of domestic violence. My God, there's an active investigation underway. They got married in 2005 while she was working at McDonald's at the age of 16. He was 22 and started dating her. After 20 years of marriage, they announced their divorce, irreconcilable differences, and then she got caught in the theater and with a Democrat, ironically. Anyway, this girl turns me the hell on, I can tell you that. 3:59. Do we have a word? We're going to keep you posted when we'll go to the break in the news, and then whenever they do the Falcons news conference, we'll go to it when they start talking.
I'm still waiting. So
okay, well, again, we're flexible. We'll do it when we do it. The social media mocking President White Trash after the First Lady, who specializes in cuckoldry, had to lead him off the stage like a little boy. Gee, let's vote for him again. 4 o'clock, Falcons news coverage of the news coming up next with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Monday. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
It's almost time to decide. Lisa Brady, Fox News. 1 week left until the Iowa caucuses, with several Republican presidential hopefuls continuing to hold events across the state, hoping to surprise the frontrunner, former President Trump. They're all urging a strong turnout from caucus goers who have the economy top of mind.
They're feeling the pinch of inflation as they try to feed America through their businesses and also as they try to feed their families. They also feel over the past several years that they've been overregulated and unfairly targeted by the Biden administration's climate policies.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble in Waukee, Iowa, where some undecideds admit concern about Trump's electability in a general election. Nikki Haley has a town hall on Fox News Channel tonight, beginning 2 hours from now. There's one for Ron DeSantis tomorrow night and Trump on Wednesday. President Biden again criticizing Trump during a campaign speech at a South Carolina church where 9 black worshipers were killed in a 2015 mass shooting.
President Biden tied the lost cause of the Confederacy to lies he says today threaten to damage the country.
Once again, there's some in this country trying
trying to turn a loss into a lie.
In a reference to former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, the president also said there is no negotiation about slavery being the cause of the Civil War.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The White House says the president still has confidence in Defense Chief Lloyd Austin, whose hospitalization went undisclosed for several days. He remains hospitalized with an issue following an elective procedure. The Pentagon says Austin has no plans to resign. This as Iran proxy attacks continue on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. Now at least 128 of them since mid-October amid the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. A strong finish on Wall Street, the Dow up 216 in a late rally. America is listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
No, sorry. 403. Ron DeSantis is denying rumors he's going to drop out after the Iowa caucus, which is coming up in a week.
Hello.
Oh, my goodness. Are we going? Is it a news time?
Yeah, this is Arthur Smith talking right now.
All right, let's go. Arthur Smith.
Arthur Blank.
Arthur Blank. All I hear is music. Here we go.
It's very painful when you have to make a change like this. There's a professional side of it and there's a personal side of it. So the personal side of it, we look at someone like Coach Smith, similar to Mike Smith, similar to Dan Quinn, similar to, other folks we've had relationships with. This is an extraordinary human being coming from an extraordinary family. A really great person, great leader of men, great family guy, man of faith, a man who's committed to the NFL, a man who's had a rich history in sports, who's had many options in his life, but has chosen to pursue being a professional coach. And he's had a great track record for a relatively long period of time, given his age. So we have nothing but appreciation for Arthur and everything he brought to us and his efforts and his commitment by his family as well. However, at some point in time, we have to separate our personal respect, affection for the head coach in this case versus results. And there's no question that over the last 3 years, that our results have not been what I've committed to our franchise, which has been having championships and being competitive at the highest possible levels that we can achieve. We haven't done that for 3 years. There's lots of subplots, sub-stories, which we could spend hours talking about, and most everybody in this room has either verbally expressed views on or written about, etc. So we could debate some of those things or discuss some of those things, but we are where we are. The search is underway. It'll be co-chaired, co-led by myself and Rich, who's our CEO of the AMBSC, and obviously got a long story history as a general manager and senior football person, not only for the Atlanta Falcons, but really for the National Football League as well. At the end of the day, I understand the final decision will be mine, but mine will be in collaboration with others. As I said initially, we've kind of begun the process, if you will. It doesn't take long to get going. So we're moving. One
of the assistant coaches at Westminster, they're checking out.
On this is that
good record.
There is no timetable. The only timetable is to do this correctly, take our time, be thoughtful, do all the interviews, be respectful, make sure we have a full, diverse slate of candidates that we're considering in every way, and give each and every one of them an opportunity to express their vision for our football team, for our franchise, for the roster, and where we are and where we expect to go.
How hard is it to come up with a vision?
It'll take as much time as we need to do that and do it correctly. So that means and I think it's a good thing, as Rich and I have chatted about this more than once, and I serve on the DEI committee for the NFL and have been involved in a number of these changes. The NFL, by design, has kind of slowed the process down. There's multiple teams that are in playoffs now, that there's different rules about when you can talk to each person, rules when they can talk to them on the way to the bathroom, on the way from the bathroom. I mean, it's like a million different rules. You have to pay a tremendous amount of attention to them. I'm making a joke of it, but they're very serious and very well thought out to make sure the coaches are respected, their teams are respected, and their efforts being where they are fully respected as well. And to make sure that all candidates getting a fair opportunity to compete for these unique opportunities. So we will pay all attention to those rules. We did last time, 2001. I think our search process that we went through with Coach Smith was widely saluted.
What's the quota for how many black guys they have to interview?
As to what they would like to see.
What's the quota this year? It's like 4 now? If you don't interview 4 black guys, they can fine you.
Factual reasons.
They got to find at least 4 black guys, I think.
So
diversity and inclusion.
To do it as well. So I am reminded of one story. I still remember this with Ambassador Rooney, who's passed away.
We should get a training coach.
Rooney's father, Dan Rooney, when we were doing a coach search 17 years ago. And he called me out of the blue and said, I just want you to feel, because we were way down the road and we hadn't selected a coach yet, and either had he. He said, just, take your time, do this correctly. You're going to hear it. You can't hire coordinators. You can't hire position coaches. Hire a head coach immediately, et cetera. He said, and they had taken forever. And the guy they selected was Mike Tomlin. So Mike has obviously been a very successful head coach for them for 17 years, but I still remember that. So I said this to Rich last night, and I would say it to myself. Everybody needs to breathe, including everybody in this room, and our fans need to as well. Understand that we are all entitled to a good cry, whether it be in a literal sense or emotionally. I get that. But nobody up here, nobody connected to our organization has anything else but a full commitment to getting us to the next level, getting us to a championship level, getting us to where we have committed to our fan base that we wanted to be, and that's having an extraordinarily competitive team.
This is Arthur Smith. He just joined us. Falcons owner.
No, it's not.
As always,
Arthur Blank.
Did I say Smith? Arthur Blank.
We have an incredible stadium. We have an incredible fan base. That for the last couple of years have been voted #1 in fan experience in the NFL in terms of the environment we've created. We want to make sure that we thank the people in the stadium, but we mostly thank our fans who have brought that energy to the building, despite results that have been something less than they wanted to see.
Mostly the opposing teams.
But I salute them and attribute a lot of that success to them. So with that, let me flip it over to Rich, and then we'll take as many questions as
should we go? Come back later?
Yeah, that Rich McKay's got absolutely zero to say about it.
Okay. All right, we'll come back. Again, this could go on for a while, and again, once they start asking questions, maybe.
Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Arthur Blank, Arthur Blank.
Arthur Blank's very good at these press conferences, and he should be, because he's been doing so many of them over the years.
Yes, apparently, and walking the sidelines when we're about to lose, when he comes out of the tunnel.
And then you have this walking mediocrity, Rich McKay, who's the epitome of, I don't know why the man's still in the building. I mean, really, what accomplishment. His one job is to bring a Super Bowl winning team to this city, and he hasn't done that. He couldn't even get the roof done on time, and he promised us that roof would be done on time, and it wasn't done on time. It was a disaster. They finally got it fixed. Name me one accomplishment. He does a lot for the city. They both do. But the whole thing about a football team is to win a damn Super Bowl. Don't talk about getting to one. You've been to 2 of them. That's not good enough anymore, and you blew both of them. Now you've got to win one. one. And this guy up there, this walking, sitting mediocrity, has no business being anywhere near a decision to bring, because these are the same idiots that keep bringing in loser after loser after loser into this city.
All right, let me ask you this. And again, folks, it's Kim Repeat and Flounder. It's 4:11. It's not all sports talk, but this is important. This is our city, and this is our team. What about Bill Belichick as a general manager, but not a coach? To say this is what we have to do. He wouldn't do that?
He's chasing a record. He's trying to catch Shula. So that's right. Yeah. Probably the only reason he's still coaching in his 70s at this point. He'll want to run the whole show, probably.
Yeah.
That's his ego. The last thing we need is a guy that's coming in here and all he wants to do is win a few games to get a record. Point out to me when he won anywhere without Tom Brady. Everyone talks about he's the greatest of all time. Excuse me, but the greatest of all time won with more than Vince Lombardi didn't just have Bart Starr.
Right.
He had other quarterbacks as well. So I'm sorry that he's not. I think he's overrated. I think he was great at the time. Plus, there was the cheating scandal that went on.
Yeah.
I think I think Arthur Blank, if he hires Belichick, he's panicking, thinking I don't have many more coaching hires in me. I'm going to go with the guy that at least has some Super Bowls, so you can't criticize me. And I don't want him anywhere near Atlanta. Bill Belichick. Now Harbaugh I would take, but Harbaugh's probably going to the Chargers, so that's probably
really? You think so?
Already. He wants to be back in California. He don't want to be here.
Yeah. By the way, he was my favorite ex-wife, the one who did love me, her next door neighbor when they were in Chicago.
Oh.
And she has frequently told me that he was a really nice guy. Very nice man, great neighbor, helpful, pleasant, charming, shovel your driveway kind of deal. Just a really nice guy. Just pass away.
Flounder, I think you won the poll. January 8th was when he started bringing up the ex.
Well, I brought up the good one. Doesn't that count for the change in the Kimmer? Talk about the happiness a woman I still would kill for.
Didn't Einstein say the epitome of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? You got the same guys picking
I know.
Every time.
I know. Well, that's
and he's got 1,400 ex-GMs up there as well.
Yeah.
And he hired a general manager. You've got an African-American general manager that people respect, and he'll have some input, but he's not going to hire. Why isn't the GM hiring the coach?
There you go. It should start at the top, and then Artie should stay out of it. Anyway,
right.
I mean, just let him do his thing and get the hell off the sidelines.
He should have never screwed up from day one when he fired Dan Reeves and brought in Jim Moore Jr. We should have known right then that it was going to be a downhill slide.
Because Dan Reeves didn't have the high-strung personality kind of deal, even though he was a solid coach and a solid football guy. Anyway, we'll talk about it. 4:14, Kim Repeat and Flounder. We've got so much more coming up here.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, see if you can wrap your head around this one. Governor Glenn Youngkin, Virginia. He is proposing a bill in Virginia to, listen to this, eliminate the withholding of any recognition, award, or post-secondary scholarship eligibility earned by Virginia students. The governor says parents and students will be notified immediately about these honors. Now wait, you need a law in Virginia that compels Virginia government schools to tell students and their parents that the students have won awards, scholarship awards? What? Okay, the reason here is that word I've been warning you about for a year, equity. Merit is not a part of equity. Equity means everybody must have an equal outcome. Decisions based on merit do not lead to equal outcomes. One lady in Virginia discovered a couple of years ago that her son had been recognized as a National Merit Scholar. Only a handful of kids across the country get this. But her son's high school did not tell him or her. And they withheld that information on purpose. If she had found out about this information on time, it could have helped get her son into a better college. Her son missed out on scholarships because they weren't aware of the award that he had won. I will never stop hammering you on the disastrous consequences of handing your children over to the government to be educated. In many cases, your children now are in a system where all the so-called educators want is for him or her to be just like everybody else. Equity. Disgusting. Neil Bart's Extra 106.3.
2024, the start of another new year, and you've got some goals. If one of them is popping the question to the love of your life, I can help. I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. For generations, my family has been helping couples tie the knot with hand-designed engagement rings and wedding bands from Solomon Brothers. Do they have their heart set on a custom ring? Have they told you all about it, shown you pictures? At Solomon Brothers, we can help you create it, whether they prefer white, yellow, or rose gold, silver or platinum, an oval, cushion, round, or princess cut diamond. We can help you design the ring of their dreams. Want to see what's possible? Visit SolomonBrothers.com and click on engagement rings and check out our ring builder. You can view different styles, colors, cuts, pricing, and more. And right now at Solomon Brothers, when you buy an engagement ring setting with us, you can get a 1-carat natural diamond for only $19.95 or a 2-carat natural diamond for just $49.95. Visit us today in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Peachtree City. Shop online at SolomonBrothers.com.
Some choices are complicated, like do I get peanuts or popcorn? Thankfully, others are much simpler, like rooting for the Braves. And choosing Truist One Checking. No overdraft fees. Lots of perks you can cheer for. And when your account balances grow, you get upgraded automatically. Oh, and with more than 130 Atlanta branches, you can add convenience to the list of perks too. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Branch count as of May 31st, 2023. Atlanta metro area. Truist Bank member FDIC.
So what's your New Year's resolution? If you're like most, there's a box of your family's treasured videotapes and photos tucked in a closet, or God help you, in the garage that you've been meaning to preserve, but you don't know where to start. Legacy Box makes checking this important to-do off your list really simple. Just send your Legacy Box filled with camcorder tapes, film reels, pictures. Get back digital copies that can be easily enjoyed, shared, and organized. It's almost like magic. I trust Legacy Box with my family's most cherished memories, the baby pictures, the videos of first steps, the choir recitals, the father-daughter dances. Plus, Legacy Box is also memorializing a lot of our museum. Visit legacybox.com/records. Save 50% off when you preserve your past with Legacy Box. Kick off the new year by rescuing your family's most cherished memories that haven't been watched or enjoyed in years. Go to legacybox.com/records. legacybox.com/records.
Yeah, this was a weird hit song, huh? By the Spice Girls. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 419. And on this day in 2000, 24 years ago, police foiled a $1.7 million kidnap plot to snatch Victoria Beckham and her baby son. The plot was uncovered after a tip-off to the cops. The gang had planned to kidnap the pair when husband David was away playing football, or their version of football anyway. Yeah, let's see, birthday list. Kim Jong-un is 42, the American Democrat role model, by holding back any kind of dissent in your country and not allowing people to have guns. Don't allow your opponents to politically run against you. Kind of the hero of the American Democrat Party. Leader of North Korea, loves cheese and Dennis Rodman, hates Seth Rogen and James Franco, apparently. Kim Jong-un, 42, the Democrat hero, and celebrating his birthday today, I'm sure, all over America. And for the first time in 800 years, on this date in 1990, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was leaning a bit too much and had to be closed. First time in 800 years, the Leaning Tower of Pisa tilts 16 feet off perpendicular. and leans a little bit too much for a while, so they had to shut it down. Well, anyway, there you go. 421. 421. How we doing? Is that news conference still going on? Do we have any interest in going back there?
No, I think well, Fox 5 dumped out of it looks like. So.
Anyway, they fired our coach, and they fired the other. Was it the Cleveland? No, who else got fired?
Washington fired theirs too.
Yeah, the Commanderos. Yeah. What is it? I can't remember what nicknames.
Commanders.
Comanches. Washington Comanches. That's
Comanches. That's what they are.
The Comancheros. The Comancheros like a half Indian, half white guy bandit, right? Aren't Comancheros kind of half-breed type just bad guys? So we should call them the Washington Comancheros because it links everything.
Okay.
I'm just sick of that. I mean, from now on, you shouldn't be able to say the word chief, Kansas City Chiefs, or any kind. Well, whatever. All right, let's do a quickly politic thing here for a second, Robert. Social media having fun after what happened. And again, I'm not playing his remarks from January 6 comments. President White Trash, the hate-filled divider of this country. Again, he's today at the marking the anniversary. So we should be marking this anniversary of a church slaughter. And he said the biggest problem in America is all you white supremacists. You Trump supporters. He's a hate-filled scumbag. I hate him. I hate what he's done to this country. He's a liar and a fraud and a phony. And if you needed any more evidence that he's freaking incompetent, after his comments this weekend, Dr. Jill, the cuckold queen, raced to lead him away by the hand from the podium like a little boy before he could go the wrong way or wonder, where the hell am I? The video, if you haven't seen it, you've got to look for it. The First Lady runs up on the stage as soon as his speech is ended, grabs his hand, and leads him back to the back of the stage where they disappear behind the American flags that were on display. The official count captioned it, Jill, Ed D., Doctor of Education, escorts Biden off stage following his remarks. But others are saying, oh my God, she's walking him off like a child. Another, someone had to do it. Another, thank goodness that Jill Biden's here to lead him away. And then the Daily Mail said Jill Biden rushed to embrace zoned out Biden after he finished his speech and then went into a trance-like state on stage. Another breaking arrangement. President Biden has been struggling to find his way off stage during recent remarks and previous remarks. The problem has now been solved. Biden accused of looking confused later when he landed in Delaware to spend the weekend with his family. They showed a clip of that one when he's looking around perplexed for several moments, didn't know what to do when he got off the helicopter or where to go. The caption for the clip, after 2 weeks of vacation and a 32-minute speech, Biden's back in Delaware for a weekend respite. He was very confused upon landing. By the way, this is the same guy who, in the anniversary of the January 6th speech, made sure he pointed out that about the 800 years total that all these people have been sent to prison for, and just lying about what a disaster this was. He also keeps talking about all the people killed as a result of the January 6th insurrection, neither of which statement is true. It was not an insurrection. The only insurrection in history of the world where nobody brought a gun except the cops who worked there. Not one weapon. And it was FBI undercover agents anyway. It figures. And by the way, if you do a Google search, one of the guys involved who got sent to prison, Brandon Strachan, remember this guy's name? He got sent to prison. He posted this over the weekend. If you Google search a January 6th defendant, the government's registry on all of us, the defendants, pops up with the exception of Ray Epps. If you go to the Justice Department website, search defendants, you'll find all the government's legally, neatly, and nearly compiled and organized dossiers on all of us defendants, but not a single search result for Ray Epps. Gee, isn't that funny? Ann Coulter, formerly respectable right-wing commentator and author, has apparently flipped over to the other side. Her Twitter timeline over the last 24 hours, quote, Ray Epps was never caught on camera telling people to go into the Capitol. And later, okay, he was caught on camera telling people to go into the Capitol, but that was on January 5th, not January 6th. Then later. Okay, he was caught on camera telling people to go into the Capitol on January 6th, but he never entered a restricted area. And then later. Okay, he did enter a restricted area, but he only did it to keep the peace. Yeah, that was it, yeah. And then later, the same 24 hours by the same Ann Coulter. Okay, he admitted in a text to his nephew that he did orchestrate the entire event, but Trump is bad. Is that pretty much how it goes, Ann? And by the way, Vivek posted this. The truth is, Ray Epps was caught on camera telling people to go into the Capitol building, placed on the FBI's most wanted list immediately after January 6th. He was placed on the most wanted list by the FBI, and then it was suddenly removed. 3 years later, the government slaps Ray Epps with a single disorderly conduct and basically probation. There you are. Those are some of the facts. That President showers with daughter didn't bring up that stuff over the weekend, did he? And he kept talking about all the dead cops. Unbelievable. Alcohol. What I said, 427. Flounder, what's going on in there, man? What do you got for us?
Here we go.
Kids are the biggest source of joy you will ever have. Trouble is, they do tend to ruin every other source of joy you ever had. So I hear other parents say stuff like, I'd take a bullet for my child, would you? I'd take a bullet for my child, put it in a gun, and shoot her. My daughter's now 18, I can't believe it. So one of those teenagers wears tons of makeup, she makes RuPaul look like a trucker. And the whole pandemic was kicking off, and I did what many people did here, which was to spend the next 2 years fairly drunk. I need a drink. Well, it's only 5:30. Better wait till 6 o'clock. All right, 5:45, I'm opening the drink. 6 o'clock, woof. All right, new plan. One more at 6:30, another one at 7, and then I will get up and make my daughter some breakfast.
And who's that guy?
That is Marcus Bergman.
Marcus Bergman, there you go. 428 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Pete Street's coming up. Holy Crap at Sports coming up. We'll have the latest on the Falcons and their announcements today and so forth. Excuse me. Also, speaking of the January 6th thing, I put this on Facebook this morning in the Al Jazeera Constipation, the AJC. They printed a story that it says family of woman slain during Jan 6 riot sues U.S. government. The family of a woman who was fatally shot by a police officer during the riot at the Capitol sued the U.S. government alleging wrongful death. It's about a 2-inch story. That's it. The 2-inch story on the family finally suing the only person who died as a result of the January 6th mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day was Ashley Babbitt. The unarmed, peacefully protesting female, somebody's wife, an Air Force veteran, by the way, a veteran, murdered by a rogue cop who, again, has been in trouble for misuse of his firearm more than once. And again, the Al Jazeera Constitution, after all the stuff that's been happening and all the coverage of President Slimebag and his cuckold queen wife, Dr. Jill, they have like a 2-inch story on the January 6th, the only person who actually was murdered that day. And again, if she had been a Democrat, and if that had been an anti-Trump protest and a cop shot a Democrat protesting for their cause, it would have been another George Floyd. No question about it. Has anybody, including Republicans, including conservatives, including right-wing talk show hosts, has anybody started a national movement for Ashley Babbitt? Nah, we don't do that kind of thing. The Democrats will burn down warehouses and have the Democrats have statues to George Floyd. Statues to George Floyd. And they get 2-inch coverage for Ashley Babbitt, murdered by a rogue cop and forgotten. Well, we haven't forgotten her. More coming up. 4:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here with 106.3. Here we go. Happy Monday.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station only continues to grow. You can now hear the Morning Extra from 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday. They're followed by Glenn Beck and Clay Travis and Buck Sexton from the EIB studios. Then at 3 p.m., an Atlanta radio legend returns to the airwaves as the Kimmer Show takes over your afternoon drive from 3 to 6 p.m. And you can stream the best lineup of conservative voices anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
All right, I got 4:31. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. And we got so much more coming up for you, including, I've been saying for a year that President Showers with Daughter is not going to be the nominee. Well, now J.P. Morgan agrees with me, too, by the way, which is rather bizarre. Talking about the race, we'll get to that in a second. The whole family ought to be locked up. Speaking of locking them up, how about we get them down to Atlanta Safe House, get them over to the showroom in Ackworth and see how much room we could get for one of their family shelters, for goodness sakes. Atlanta Safe House. AtlantaSafeHouse.com. Check them out right now. Go to their website and see what they can do for you. And I'm not making this up. Atlanta Safe House can actually make you a family storm shelter. I'm not making it up. Known for their safes, of course. I've bought two. The gun safes are always on sale. Great deals going into the new year. In fact, when they delivered them to my place, you can have them bolted from the inside into your concrete floor in your game room downstairs or your basement or your garage, anything you want, just the way I did. And I wish I had taken a safe down to Florida when I retired down there and I lost my medical records. Now the VA saying, we don't believe you. You're not getting any money. Well, whatever. It's my fault. Lock up your stuff for safekeeping. Your business affairs, your jewelry, cash, things that are mementos that are precious to you, including medical records, marriage and divorce papers, your living will, all that stuff. Just like the Kimmer finally got his brain back again after the trip to Florida. Protecting your assets. And again, they have all the top brands. Browning, Fort Knox, American Security. They've got them all. Rifle safes and pistol safes, too. Again, these are very, very handy and very safe. And ladies, if your husband's a gun owner and you're a little nervous about it, they can protect everything just the way you like it too. Atlanta Safe House. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Again, the showroom is in Ackworth. They're ready for you. Their only delivery, by the way, to salute their off-duty police, firefighters, and military to give them a little bit of a second income and show you how they care about America. Tell them the Kimmer sent you to AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Neil Borch here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now, I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs, etc.com.
2024 Georgia Tech football season ticket memberships are now available. The 2024 season features marquee matchups against Miami and Notre Dame. Purchase your membership before December 1st and be entered into 30 days of giving featuring a new prize each day. Season ticket memberships come with benefits. Enjoy discounts on merchandise and concessions, convenient payment plans, special pre-sale opportunities, and more. Lock in your 2024 Georgia Tech football season ticket membership by visiting RamblinRec.com. Sting 'em.
Aches and pains are just part of getting older. You know it and I know it, but that doesn't mean you have to just accept it. That's why I want to tell you the story about Nancy from Texas and her Relief Factor story. For years, she took care of horses and gave riding lessons. She started getting older and Nancy began feeling the effects, so she decided to give Relief Factor a try. It didn't work overnight, but it did work. These days, she says, I have more stamina because I don't hurt. With Relief Factor, she can keep going and doing more. I can relate, as I used to have terrible aches and pains in my hands. It was to the point that I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. But ever since starting Relief Factor, I've got my life back. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live a better life every day. To get started, try Relief Factor, their 3-week quick start kit. It's $19.95, comes with a feel better or your money back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
A little disco or something here. I gotta go to the beat. Our girl is Madonna, right? A little Madonna. You can tell by the snap. 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 It's got to have a sharps on. Is this what? I can't remember. This
is called Holiday.
Holiday. That's what it was. Madonna, 1996. On this day, a Los Angeles court found Robert Hoskins guilty of 5 counts of stalking, assault, and making terrorist threats to Madonna. This guy Hoskins had twice scaled the walls of her estate and had threatened to slash her throat from ear to ear. Golly, I wouldn't really call him a fan. Jeez. Yeah, birthdays include, in fact, I was thinking about trying to do this, Flounder, and I changed my mind. Bob Eubanks is 86 years old. Do you know who Bob Eubanks is, Flounder? You know that name? Oh, he's doing something. I'm sorry. Do you know who Bob Eubanks is?
I've heard the name.
Bob Eubanks
Game show host?
Yeah, he's 86 years old. He did the Newlywed Game.
In the butt, Bob.
Well, that was the thing. One of the questions was, ladies, where is the most unusual place you and your husband have ever made love? And he was trying to get things like an airplane, a bathroom. No, it was, that was the other thing. And it was actually, I've seen the video. I mean, I've actually seen, and the husband was going, oh my God. Like, it was like a Spanish couple. I mean, like Puerto Rican or Spanish or Mexican or something, if I remember correctly. And the girl said that, and he went, oh God, oh my God. Anyway, Bob Eubanks is 86 years old and will never, ever live that down. Now, he didn't do anything, but there you go. Let's see, a quick thing of history here. Speaking of State of the Union addresses coming, by the way, our president's doing one here in, I guess, a couple of weeks. I think they announced it, I forgot. I think it might be even in February. I think they're waiting to try to find something to brag about. Unbelievable, except hating Donald Trump. On this day, 1953, President Harry Truman makes a State of the Union address with a bombshell of an announcement in 53. Harry Truman pledged 3 years earlier in the State of the Union address that he would develop a hydrogen bomb. Well, he announced on this State of the Union in 1953 they did it. It was in reaction to the Soviet Union developing their own atomic bomb. And again, for the record, a hydrogen bomb is so much bigger that it uses an atomic bomb as the trigger. Okay? I mean, honestly, think, oh my God. I mean, that's just enough to blow the world to smithereens, no question about it. Let's see, hold on a second. We got more political stuff here, but I also got my iPad working, huh? And if you just joined us again, a reminder that Cindy Morgan has passed away. The actress Cindy Morgan, better known as Lacey Underall from the movie Caddyshack, 69 years old. And the Palm Beach guy used to live in Palm Beach County when I was retired down in Florida, as does she. And apparently she had been on a trip, and Cindy Morgan from Caddyshack, her roommate, called the cops after she got home from a holiday trip, knocked on Cindy's door where they lived and got no response. And then she told police, this is the roommate, told police that she smelled a strong odor coming from inside, called 911. She had last seen Cindy Morgan alive on December 19th. So we're talking weeks. The cops went in and found her passed away in her room. No foul play is suspected. Died of natural causes, according to the coroner, at least so far.
All right.
Famous for a role in Caddyshack. And Tron, I never saw any of that stuff. But anyway, 69 years old, doesn't say what happened. Yes, sir.
Last saw her on the 19th, huh?
Yeah. December 19th.
Yeah. Okay, because on the 17th of December, Cindy Morgan tweeted this: all I want for Christmas is a safe place to live. I've got 2 weeks.
Oh, my.
With a Christmas tree. Now, what we think she was responding to what somebody else had written, another famous person whose name has been taken away, who said that she had been like swatted, which in case her landlord called up this other woman and said, you got 2 weeks, is the end of the month. Your agent contacted me and said you would be out and made arrangements for you to move.
Ooh.
And the person wrote back, I don't have an agent. That person is a fraud who got a hold of me because I'm famous. I'm sure you wouldn't know what it's like. People are always trying to take advantage. He has no paperwork, no right, and has been turned into the FBI.
Jeez. So somebody messing with her and then she died? Oh, my God. I hope that...
Or messing with it sounds like she was messing with a friend of hers or someone she knew, and Cindy was commenting on it. But how ironic that she would write that.
2 weeks.
And then 2 weeks later, they find her body.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope there's nothing untoward about it. Well, either way, it's a shame. The woman's dead, 69 years old.
Beautiful one.
Yeah. Although I say it again, I know you all agree with me. I don't think she was right for that part because she didn't seem like the sexy kind of trampy girl. I didn't.
Oh my
buy
God!
It.
Please, listeners, please, somebody call up and educate this man.
Well, she was too skinny for one. No, she was too skinny, and
there were two reasons she was.
No, she didn't.
She was perfect for that role.
Well, see, there's, I guess.
Perky.
Yeah. Well, there you are.
You're the only heterosexual man in America who did not find her attractive in that movie.
Well, no, I mean, she was high, she was pretty, but just she just didn't seem like like that kind of a kind of a sexy kitten girl. I just didn't buy it.
Flounder, we need a Twitter poll.
All right. Yes, Lacey's staying with us for the summer.
Is Lacey Underwall attractive or not attractive?
Well, of course that wasn't the point. I just said she was the wrong one for the role. I think she's obviously an attractive girl, and if you're asking me would I be happy to be with her for some absolutely, no question about it.
She's dead, for God's sake.
I know.
Man.
Let the woman live in peace. 442 with the Kipper, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. I was going to do some more politics there, but again, and by the way, just quickly, again, President Scumbag, white trash, was again all weekend long talking about white supremacy, and his whole message is hating Donald Trump. If Donald Trump's elected, the world's going to go to hell and be the end of our democracy. And again, Jack Smith, Donald Trump has again today asked a court to rule whether or not he even has to go to court against Jack Smith in March. Also, Georgia's now joined by a whole bunch of other states to work with the Supreme Court to keep him on the ballot in Colorado and about that case. So things are happening. There's a lot of kind of underneath action happening with people getting together for these court cases. And again, Jack Smith, the prosecutor, the Trump hater, is the guy who said the danger. Again, talk about political. This is the guy who said a couple of days ago that if Donald Trump wins the presidency, that on January 20th of his inauguration, he's going to say that the Republicans should start killing Democrats. So there you are. There's your new campaign thing. Hey, guess what? If we vote for Trump, we get to kill the Democrats next January 20th. Vote for Trump and you get to kill the Democrats. I like it. New slogan. Vote for Trump and you get to kill the Democrats. Because as you know, we're all mass murderers. I'm sorry?
I was answering the phone and had the mic up.
Oh, okay.
It's just like coughing. It's just like coughing.
Bingo.
And it's Swatoon.
That's even more fun. Well, let's take Swatoon. It's 4:43. Swatoon. Happy Monday. You're on the radio, my friend. What's going on?
Are you there?
Yes, sir. We're on the radio.
Oh, this is Clayton.
Oh, Clayton. Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. I thought you were Swatoon. I apologize.
Beg your pardon. Clayton, you're on the radio.
Hey, I just wanted to say that Cindy Morgan was, very gorgeous, but I know what you mean. She was in the Bo Derek type. She's not particularly athletically built.
Yeah.
But yes, a beautiful woman and perfect for the part, I thought. But I see what you're saying. Yeah. She's not the gymnast-shaped girl that's that's more your type.
Yeah. Well, again, she just didn't look like the kind of girl to be sitting in a bar trying to pick up guys. She didn't have the body for it or the mannerisms to me. That's all. I mean, but she was hot and sexy, and obviously, but again, it just didn't seem like the role was right. And I'll tell you another thing. I'll tell you another thing that upset me too. And Clayton, maybe you can agree with us or not. The little girl who played the waitress. She'd been bunged by Bell's been rung more times than Elizabeth Trierly, whatever that girl. Why did they give her a freaking Irish accent? She doesn't talk with an Irish accent. Well, what the hell was that?
It was a Scottish accent.
Well, whatever.
She was from Connecticut.
Yeah, I know, but why did they have her the whole? Bell's been rung more than the bells of Tiree or whatever the hell that was. What was that all about? And she was hot. And the same way, she was the same chick that ended up in the shopping cart in Animal House. That's right. She was hot there too.
Right. Okay, that's who I thought you were talking about. Yeah, that girl was a good actress.
Yeah.
Because she did play such different roles in those two movies and pulled it off great, I thought.
But I wonder why
Yeah, they were Irish. They were Boston or whatever, supposedly Ivy League kind of area, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, she did have the Scottish accent, and maybe it wasn't, I don't know myself if that was a good accent or not, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, she was hot and she was cute. So, anyway, now we've ended our temporary discussion on Caddyshack and Cindy Morgan, who passed away the issue underall at the age of 69. 4:45 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder here on 106.3. Happy Monday. How's it going?
Your drive home has never been better. The Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. And here's what you missed.
After 70-something years, Macy's is going to quit doing the lighting of the great tree. This is after they killed the pink pig again last year. They killed the pink pig again.
Yeah. In fact, there was didn't you you texted something else about that? But it just figures. It just freaking
It's
figures.
Atlanta traditions that they're tossing out the windows. Things are not getting better, folks. Things are getting worse. These are Atlanta traditions we all grew up with, and they've killed. The idiots in charge have killed them.
The Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder are only on Extra 106.3 FM. And listen anytime on the Extra app.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Calling all aspiring tradespeople. Ready to master a new skill to boost your career? Introducing the Blue Collar Virtual Trade School. Learn from industry experts from the comfort of your own home. Whether it's HVAC, plumbing, or electrical work, we've got you covered. Gain hands-on expertise through immersive virtual simulations and connect with instructors who have been in the field. Elevate your career potential. The Blue Collar Virtual Trade School, where future begins with a click. Visit thebluecollarvirtualtradeschool.com or call 678-916-6145.
There you go. Hold on a second. Nancy and a C. There you go. The thing. This is like what Bill Murray was pretending to do, singing in one of his. God, what movie was it? Was it Caddyshack? I remember when Bill Murray was trying to pretend to be like a rock star. Anyway, this is Def Leppard with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 4:48 is our time. On this day in 1991, Steve Clark, the guitarist with Def Leppard, was found dead at his Chelsea flat by his girlfriend after a night of very heavy boozing and prescription drug overdosing. The autopsy revealed that Steve Clark with Def Leppard had died from an overdose of codeine and had Valium, morphine, and a blood alcohol level of 0.3, which is 300% higher than it should be, above the legal driving limit. And that was in 1991. In 2007, Clark was ranked number 11 on Classic Rock Magazine's 100 Wildest Guitar Heroes. I would not have known anything about that. Would you guys agree with that? Steve Clark, well-known guitar hero, wild guy, Def Leppard?
Never heard of him.
There you go.
He was part of that,
unanimous.
Def Leppard was part of that kind of 80s glam rock, so that kind of
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he had some chops. They have a couple good songs.
Yeah. They did have a couple. I will say that for a German band, they had a couple good songs.
Yeah. Our birthday list includes Anthony Jourdain, otherwise known as Little Anthony and the Imperials Jourdain. He is 82 years old today. Wow, good for him. And on this day in history, the distress signal was established for the world. I'll bet you don't know what it was originally. The distress signal?
Help!
Oh, sorry.
Help!
That's close, very close. No, actually, the distress signal, it's a shame. It's why Professor Backwards died, because he was in the ocean and he kept yelling, pleh, pleh. It's just, it's wrong in every way. That's so stupid. I think I heard that silly joke when I was like 10 or something. Or no, whenever he died.
You know who said it? You know who said it?
No, I don't.
Chevy Chase said it on Saturday Night Live when he was doing the news.
Probably. Yeah. The distress signal originally was CQD, as in CQ danger or come quick danger. CQD, but 2 years later, in 1906, they changed it to SOS because it was 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots, easier to send.
They also changed it because it was actually luring danger to the problem. It was like calling danger.
Come here, danger. Hey, danger. I don't think that was exactly the way they wanted it. 451 with a Kim, Repeat, and Flounder. I've been mentioning, I'm actually kind of bragging about the fact that I said, I was one of the first guys to say that Joe Showers with daughter, the president of the crime family, is never going to be on the ticket for a second term. My original thought was that they're going to shove him down the stairs or he's going to slip in the shower. I mean, something's going to happen because, I really am up to campaigning. So, and then my thought originally was there's no way that they wanted Carmela's side piece, Vice President Shiftless and Lazy, to be America's favorite side piece, cohort, to be on the presidential ticket as the number one person on the presidential ticket for the Democrats. So I think what they're going to say, they're going to get rid of him, and then they're going to make it an open season. Let's get all these Democrats together and we'll get the best one for the party kind of deal instead of trying to lay it on Carmela. Well, that was, I think everybody's, I don't think people agreeing with me, although more and more are getting on the case now because of the crime stuff and the possible impeachment and so forth. But J.P. Morgan has weighed into this, and they have a predictor named Michael Sembolist, who has got a list of his top 10 surprises for 2024, and it includes Joe Biden dropping out of the 2024 election after Super Tuesday, and he'll cite health reasons as he faces dismal poll numbers. This guy predicts the 81-year-old will step down when the majority of states hold primary elections and caucuses. And he says president will cite health reasons as a reasoning behind him stepping down before passing the torch to a replacement named by the Democratic National Committee. In his prediction for J.P. Morgan, the guy, again, this is based on money stuff as much as anything, what's going to happen for the country and what the business people will allow, frankly. He says Biden has much too low an approval rating for a president, 10% job creation since his inauguration, although that figures by the byproduct of his inauguration coinciding with a rollout of China kill virus vaccines and reopening the economy. 37% trust Biden with the economy. And his bragging about Bidenomics is falling short, too. 2% say the economy is excellent. 2%. Trump's expanding his lead. As suffers, by the way, President Stupid, again, I just mentioned, was led off the stage by his wife. Vice President Cuckold Queen. He's suffered a whole bunch of falls as commander-in-chief. He tumbled at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Veterans Day. He had at Arlington National Honor Guard laying the wreath ceremony, had to take several steps in the wrong direction, looked around, didn't know what to do. They finally had to point to a spot to send him over there. I mean, this is unbelievable. And even J.P. Morgan is saying he's not going to make it. And by the way, have you heard the sound bites lately? Nancy Pelosi is going to go to hell when she dies because of her black heart. And also Ocasio-Bangbango Stupidio, AOC, they both, over the weekend, were doing interviews, and both of them were addressing the migrant crisis and the border crisis. And both of them, now that Mayorkas, by the way, that pimpy little smarmy little liar, is finally, for the first time since the presidency, the Department of Homeland Security guy is actually going to the border. Gee, about time, don't you think? And he's just going to lie about it, that it's secure. They're all coming across. How it's possible secure. Anyway, here's what now Nancy Botoxi and Ocasio-Bangbango Stupidio both have the same solution to the border crisis. Guess what it is? Amnesty. Gee, why didn't anybody else think of that? amnesty.
I've got AOC. You want to listen to her?
Yeah, here we go. Check this out.
From all parts of the political spectrum, one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to immigration is the fact that we have an undocumented population. Now, you can fix that by trying to build a wall,
yes,
or you can fix that by trying to document people and create a path to citizenship.
Yep, there you go.
And,
they're loving that, boy.
That might say, look at these systems, that our shelter system has weight and things like that. But one of the reasons that our public systems experience weight is because people don't have a documented and reliable path to work and sustain themselves. Just like all of our ancestors did and our grandparents and...
There you go.
No.
Both of them.
They didn't. Our ancestors didn't crawl across the border illegally and get handed hotel vouchers and airplane tickets and bus tickets and free health care and free iPhones and all. None of our ancestors had that. So she can just suck my toes if she's going to pull that crap. Another thing, by the way, a congresswoman from New York State has pretty much said the quiet part out loud today. She came out and said, we need this amnesty. We need this because just for redistricting in my district, we need this, which means the New York State, California, they're losing population. They're losing power in Congress. They need to replace those people who have left with more people that will vote Democrat.
Again, we were all called conspiracy theorists anytime anybody said they're trying to change our culture. They're trying to let in all these Democrats.
Replace us.
7 million Democrats to take over. And again, if this works, and it's working, if they grant amnesty and allow these people to vote, holy cow, they'll put 19 people on the U.S. Supreme Court. They'll pass House Resolution 1. They'll nationalize every single stinking election. They'll do everything they've wanted to try to accomplish. Thank God they haven't been able to do all of it because we had a majority of like 2 in Congress, thank God, for the last election. But again, they'll never lose another election. They'll stack everything. They'll never lose again if they grant amnesty to these people. And by the way,
this is where
go ahead.
The Republican Party should be taking these people that are coming over, if they're going to do this to them, and educating them. Say, look what the Democratic Party has done with the black race. They've destroyed their families. They put them in ghettos in cities where they have no good schools.
Great society.
They can't get good food. There's crime. There's gangs and violence over and over. Look what they've done to them. Guess what? They're going to do the exact same thing to you if you keep voting for them.
And again, what's happened with America, and this sounds typical, even the younger generation, the Generation Z, these people are out of control. In New York City, in Yonkers, there was a high school girls basketball game against a Jewish private school called the Leffel School against the Roosevelt Public School, which I think is mostly black students. And they had to call the game off early because the kids from the public Roosevelt School kept shouting, "I support Hamas, you blanking Jew." And, let's see, substantially more jabs than anyone has ever heard of before. They were shouting, "Free Palestine, free Palestine." They were roughing them up. They were shoving them around the court, the Jewish players all over the court. And finally, one of the kids who runs a student-run newspaper said, "We've never seen anything like this in my entire high school career, in my life." The hatred directed toward one of the teams. One of the Jewish players walked off during a timeout, and the coaches had to confer, and then the Roosevelt players kept shouting anti-Jewish things at him. I mean, it's unbelievable. The coach the coach of the Roosevelt team got fired, and one of the players got kicked off the team because the entire school district said, "We can't be putting up with this." But again, these are teenagers screaming, "You blanking Jew?" The last thing that this country ever had, everybody growing up as a teenager was always liberal. I was liberal as a teenager. Your parents taught you to share. Oh, they're poor people. They don't have as much as you. If you have extra, you should share with them. Oh, don't try to think you're special because you have more money than they. I mean, we were taught to try to be humble and giving and nurturing and sensitive and to share with people. And now, my God, they're turning vicious and violent. I don't know what happened, but it's here. 5 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. With so much more. Look out.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10 a.m. and The Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Only on WFOM and W292EV Marietta. Extra 106.3 FM.
A problem found in Boeing jets. Lisa Brady, Fox News. United Airlines says loose bolts have been found on door plugs of Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets, which were grounded after a door plug blew out on an Alaska Airlines jet, forcing an emergency landing with a hole in the fuselage Friday night. No one was hurt, and inspections continue on the grounded jets. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy offering reassurance to air travelers.
Our aviation system is incredibly safe. It is incredibly safe. The most dangerous part of your trip is going to and from the airport in your vehicle.
But she tells Fox News when something does go wrong, they have a responsibility to figure out what happened to ensure safety. The Homeland Security Secretary visits Eagle Pass, Texas, one of the areas hardest hit by a record migrant surge. Alejandro Mayorkas meeting with Border Patrol personnel and local officials just 2 days before a House hearing on a move to impeach him.
House Republicans say time is up for Secretary Mayorkas, and a last-minute trip to the border by Mayorkas to observe the crisis firsthand is not going to change anything for them.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn on Capitol Hill, where on the Senate side, Mayorkas has been part of closed-door talks on a possible border deal to win Republican support for the president's supplemental budget request, which includes billions in aid for Ukraine and Israel. Another round of shuttle diplomacy in the Middle East.
Everywhere I went, I found leaders who were determined to prevent the conflict that we're facing now from spreading.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken speaking earlier to reporters in Saudi Arabia. He's now in Tel Aviv, where he says he'll press Israel to do more to protect civilians and get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. In New York City, more than 300 pro-Palestinian protesters arrested after blocking several bridges and a tunnel entrance earlier today. America is listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Hair, help, hair, hair. First paw to the rear. Hair, help. Road guards out. Hair, help, hair. Look out. It's only me. It's only the giver. Don't be afraid. Marines don't die. We just go to hell and regroup. 5:03, almost 5:04 with the Kimmer. Pete Davison, Flounder at the controls. Happy Monday. How's it going? Everything's fine around here. I got a bunch of updated stories, plus a business about the Alaskan jet that had the big hole that kind of fell off that fake door they have. Oh, my God. And by the way, we'll talk about some of the folks on the plane and what it was actually like, too, among other things. And Pete, it looked like you wanted to add something in there.
Alaska Airlines, you said you cannot fly that plane over water because we need to look at it. They knew.
Yeah. You cut out there for a second. They had warned that 3 different times. They said, no, you can't fly that plane over an ocean. Make sure because we don't trust it. So they kept it flying? Now, wait a minute. If your plane is so dangerous that you're afraid to fly it over water, don't fly it at all. I mean, I can't believe that. Isn't that what negligent? I mean, I honestly, I can't believe it. They have the rules that are so lax that if a plane is so dangerous, you can't fly it over the ocean because you can't trust it. It's going to fall out of the sky. Why would you trust that it's not going to fall out of the sky over land? I mean, seriously. I don't get that kind of logic.
Well, it's like the comedian James Gregory says, I don't want a flotation device under my seat. I want a seat that bounces through cornfields.
Yeah, like the stuff they make that flight recorder out of. And by the way, they can't find... Well, let's talk about this now. We'll get to politics here in a second. And also the latest on the documents of the Jeffrey Epstein dump includes pictures. And we'll talk about that. And also a claim that Donald Trump was involved with young girls, but then she took it back. So we'll see. Anyway, 5:05. All right, on this Alaska airline thing, it was banned from long-distance journeys over water. The warning light about cabin pressure had flashed 3 different times on 3 different flights, and then all of a sudden it's on a flight, the Boeing 737 MAX 9, left Portland, Oregon, bound for California. Shortly after they took off, 16,000 feet, boom, the plug door, or the door plug, fell out. It's kind of it's not really a real thing. It's kind of a fake. They describe it in here somewhere. I got to find my notes here. To pressurize the cabin, the door. Let's see. Well, it says in here someplace. A door is a door that they need if they have extra places they need. Well, I'll get it here in a second, I promise you. Let's see. People on the harrowing emergency landing, people were saying their final goodbyes, texting and calling their loved ones. The part of the plane that fell out, the missing door plug, landed on a school teacher's backyard yesterday. Can you imagine? Let's see. The in-flight voice recorder data has been lost as well because it was not reset within a 2-hour window after the emergency landing. The device is capable of recording up to 25 hours, but it has to be reset every 2 hours. Because it was not reset in time, it's unknown what was said or what was going on at the emergency. So they can't. That's why you always have it. So you find out exactly what the last words were or what was going on in there. It takes all it's what you say, what's going on, all the equipment and stuff, and the dials and everything. The investigators have, quote, hailed the miracle that allowed the 171 passengers and crew to survive. Well, what do you mean miracle? The guy landed the plane. The failure depressurized the cabin, the force of the air rushing in, ripping the shirt off a little boy. His mom was seen grabbing and holding on to him. Passengers watched as their phones were sucked out the hole into the night sky. Toys, phones, clothes sucked into the atmosphere through the gaping hole. Thank God nobody was sitting in the 2 seats right next to the now missing door. Flyers looking through the giant hole left the missing piece of the plane with the twinkling lights of Portland below. Passengers heard a really loud boom, and then a deathly silence fell over the cabin as the plane made their emergency landing 40 minutes later. One girl said to her family in a text, "I don't want to die. The masks are down. I'm so scared right now. Please pray for me. Please, I don't want to die." The mask dropped. People are screaming. People are screaming. Well, the people next to her calmed her down, so she thanked them for it. The captain overheard saying, "We need to divert. We've declared an emergency, depressurized." The back of the seat of the 26A directly next to that door that had been ripped off was completely gone. The headrests on other seats were torn off. Pieces of clothing were scattered all over the area. One woman said, if the door had attached, okay, let me start again. Sorry. One of the actual, stewardess people said, if the door had detached from the aircraft before it reached cruising altitude, when the passengers are allowed to take off their seatbelts, the outcome would have been much worse. They would have been sucked out of the hole along with their cell phones and their clothes. One guy named Nick was 33 years old, said he was sitting a few rows and the piece he was sitting on his left side where the piece came flying off and this misty cloud whooshed past him and hit him in the face. He said there were people much closer than I who lost all their AirPods, came pulling right out of their ears. The plug door is used as an emergency exit when the plane is configured to take more passengers. But when it's not made to take more passengers, it's sealed up and invisible from the inside in the configuration used by Alaska Airlines. Oxygen comes down over 12,000 feet to prevent hypoxia, which is starvation in the brain, got dizzy and lost the conscious stuff. Anyway, again, this big hole, thank God they weren't all roaming around and they would have been sucked out of the plane like a Goldfinger. Goldfinger should put the gunshot and sing, zang, boom. Oh, my God, 510, news.
There's some really horrible photos on the Twitter right now. A Fort Worth hotel has exploded. Ooh. They say there's at least 10 injuries. If you can see the photos, it looks like they're claiming it's a gas explosion right now, and there's debris out in the street and everything. But it's Fort Worth, Texas. Massive explosion at the Sandman Signature Hotel.
Wow.
And it looks like it's like the first floor because it's stuff blown out into the streets. Looks like the whole front of it has blown out into the street there. So they're saying at least 10 people injured right now.
Wow. It sounds like a gas explosion. It's an explosion, not fire. It wasn't like just a fire. It was an explosion, they're saying, particularly. Huh?
Right.
Specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. 5:11 here with the Kim, Repeat, and Flounder. The latest update on the Jeffrey Epstein releases. The new court records released again, 17 documents, 200 released since Wednesday. Defamation suit against his companion, Giselle Maxwell sending 20 years in prison, trafficking young women. The documents unsealed today, including several photographs produced by a girl named Sarah Ransom, who filed a lawsuit against Epstein and Maxwell as being conspirators to traffic her as a sex object. She was deposed and showed dozens of photographs, including Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and other young women on Epstein's island roaming around young girls. She said some of the pictures were taken by a French model and scout and associate of Epstein and were given by him to her by him. Let's see. One of the girls who in the pictures killed herself. I'm sorry. One of the guys killed himself awaiting trial. Oh, I'm sorry. It says Brunei. Who the hell's Brunei? Ransom testified some of the pictures were taken by Jean-Luc Brunel, a French model scout and a model scout and associate of Epstein, and given to her by him. Brunel died by suicide in his prison cell last year, waiting a trial on charges of rape of underage girls and sexual harassment, a crime in France. He maintained he was innocent. But one of the guys taking pictures killed himself before he went to trial. Wow. And some of the messages, this girl Ransom made allegations that implicated Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and Prince Andrew and Richard Branson from Branson, Missouri fame. And then she says, it's not true. I made it up. I don't want to get into this. My family's afraid and da-da-da. So she says, it's not real and stuff. So I don't know. I pass along the information knowing now that she took it back in 2019, said, no, that's not true. I don't have those tapes, and I didn't see it after all. So we'll see. 5:13, a lot of sports news coming up, including the latest today on the Falcons with Holy Crap at Sports and Pete Davis. And the rocket going into space, the remains of George Washington, John Kennedy, and half the cast of Star Trek remains in space. George Washington and Jack Kennedy coming up with a Kim, Repeat, and Flounder, 5:13. Sports next.
The Morning Extra with Todd Rhino and Los.
Jerome Powell says this fiscal path, $33 trillion in debt, $50 trillion in debt by 2030. We can't be on this path and be a healthy nation. I despise these liars and these thieves of ours and our kids' future. They've raped and pillaged America. They nor their families will suffer because of their poor decision, but ours will.
The Morning Extra, now every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. only on Extra 106.3.
Meet Harper, teammate at Truist. Hello. She was born to care and always had your back. Like the time her friend's bumper car took a gnarly hit.
Oh no!
His retainer went flying, but Harper caught it before it got crushed. Today, Harper's a teammate at Truist, the bank with Truist One checking. With With no overdraft fees, $100 negative balance buffer, and automatic upgrades, Truist One Checking has your back too. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. $100 negative balance buffer. Eligibility requirements apply. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
You hear us talk a lot about the great products that Howard Brothers sells and supports. But the best thing about Howard Brothers is their people. They have folks who've been there for 10, 20, 30, even 40 years. And they wake up every morning excited to get to work to serve you. It's personal relationships that they build with their customers. You can't go to a big box store and be personally known like you are by the folks at Howard Brothers. It's nice to know that you are supporting a locally family-owned business that does so much for their employees and their community. Happy New Year from our friends at Howard Brothers.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2022 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for customer sales experience and Atlanta's only 8-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Get involved with Special Olympics Georgia today. Join Special Olympics Georgia for the 2023 State Indoor Winter Games in Cobb and surrounding areas, January 26th through 27th. Come out and watch Georgia's champions compete in sports like basketball, powerlifting, bowling, floor hockey, and pickleball. Volunteer today and head to SpecialOlympicsGA.org and click on the volunteer link. Thank you to our statewide sponsors, volunteers, and fans that come out to support these amazing athletes.
Oh, look at here we go. 5:16. 5:16. We have an update on the rocket thing. I think they postponed it or had a medical thing. We'll talk about that stuff later. And also the latest on Taylor Swift and the Golden Globes. But first, oh boy, holy crap, it's sports with P. Davis.
This is the end. Beautiful friend.
You know how many times I've played this song at the end of a Falcons coach's tenure?
Yeah, well, here we go again.
I've lost count. This is the end indeed. The axe fell 1 minute after midnight this morning. A little author on Arthur violence. Falcons owner Arthur Blank fired head coach Arthur Smith after 3 seasons of not even achieving mediocrity. Well, that's the good news. The bad news, guess who will choose the next head coach?
Oh, no.
That's right.
Yeah.
The same incompetent pair that have been blowing this decision since Jim Mora Jr. Arthur Blank and his trusty sidekick, Rich That Damn Roof Will Be Ready Day One McKay, are the guys for the job. The suits never get fired in Flowery Branch. They're like mold. They're always there, and they start to stink after a while. Anyway, poor GM Terry Fontenot must see the writing on the wall. Why hire a general manager only to push him aside when it comes to the big jobs? They're not going to let him pick his own coach. In fact, here's the Falcons press release verbatim. The search for a new head coach of the Falcons will begin immediately. It'll be led by Blank and McKay, with input from Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot and several other appropriate members of Blank's Atlanta Falcons and AMB sports and entertainment organizations.
Input. You're getting input. Oh, that's nice.
Input.
That's so much nicer.
And several others.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. You don't get input there, you know.
In other words, it's a meeting of the Politburo. Yeah. They're basically Brezhnev and Khrushchev. They're all lining up to pick out who's going to be the next guy. By the way, look that one up, kids, Politburo.
Yes.
But I, for one, I am looking on the bright side about this group that has been tasked to find a new coach.
Okay.
I have nothing but confidence and very little of that. Some experts say Bill Belichick is number one on Blank's list. Please, God, no. Remind me again how many times old Billy Boy has won without Tom Brady. That would be 0. This would make sense, though. Arthur Blank does not have many more hires. Why not try and get a Super Bowl winner on a short-term lease and go for broke here? Why do you? I can see him making a push for Belichick.
Well,
but Washington wants him, too.
Oh, I'll bet you there's more than one. But again, well, when you get done with this, I'm going to ask about the key to it. And the key to it all is the quarterback. And nothing's going to happen unless we get a quarterback who's going to bring us to the next level, period. Now, if Belichick can figure out a way to get us one, with his, because he... anyway, I don't want to jump your thing there, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Belichick is the guy who drafted Mac Jones in the first round.
That's right.
As the replacement for Tom Brady.
There you go.
Okay. How about this name?
Yeah.
There's several young coordinators being bandied about. This Ben Johnson guy at Houston and everything. He's kind of young, not very experienced. But how about this?
Yeah.
Bear with me here.
All right.
Deion Sanders.
As head coach?
Yeah. He's tanned, he's rested, he's ready to lose.
Very funny. Jolly Joker. You bet you're Red Ryder.
For a second.
Yeah, I'm on that train right now. That's why I said for coach is what Oh, mercy.
Well, who knows? At one point yesterday, the Falcons and Saints were tied at 14-all in New Orleans. The Saints outscored the Falcons 34-3 after that. Not only that, but on the last play of the game and up 24 points, the Saints pretended to take a knee at the goal line, only to hand off the ball and score another touchdown.
Yeah.
Saints head coach Dennis Allen claimed that quarterback Jameis Winston and the other 10 players on offense went rogue. It was a chicken guano move by a supposedly professional franchise. But hey, what's the use of being from New Orleans if you can't act like you're from New Orleans? Jameis not only disrespected the Falcons, he dissed his own coach. That maneuver could have gotten somebody hurt, and former head coach Arthur Smith confronted Allen at midfield after the game with a few F-bombs and refused to shake his hand. So I got to cheer Arthur Smith for once in 3 years. I stood up and gave him a standing ovation from my couch for saying that was a chicken blank thing.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't watch much pro football anymore. I go to Red Zone and watch touchdowns and stuff, Red Zone stuff like that. But I did switch back and forth a little bit to the Falcons, and I happened to see that meeting at midfield. And I wrote my one note about sports here. I wrote for Pete Davis is Art Smith last words with a big exclamation stuff. And that was just so. And again, you can hurt. Somebody could get hurt. You could, even spraining an ankle or breaking a wrist or pushing. It just it's unbelievable. You don't do that. And again, like you said, they said it was a team decision to overrule the coach to go ahead and do it. And that's just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Okay. If you've ever stood on the sidelines of an NFL game, if you've never been down there and see every play, how hard they hit each other at the line of scrimmage.
It's a car wreck.
It's sumo wrestlers basically banging into each other at high speeds. To have half of the squad on the field not think it's a real play, you could really, really hurt some people on doing that. I understand if it's the middle of the game and the game's still on the line, but not at the end like that. Yeah. And of course, it's Jameis Winston. What do you expect from him? He's perfect for New Orleans, that whole town. Yeah, there's a reason they hate us. They're so jealous of the success Atlanta has had. That place is just a cesspool.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. We welcome
as a city. As a city, it is.
Yeah. Arthur Smith was 21-30 in 3 full seasons, by the way. Tony on Facebook said, I sure hope most of these Falcons go into the transfer portal.
Would make some real money.
I don't think it's the players' fault. I think they were bad play calling. I think it was a bad scheme. I think he drafted 3 straight offensive guys in the first round and then stopped using some. Hardly used Drake London that first year. Yeah. Barely used Kyle Pitts the last year. Yeah. Didn't use Bijan Robinson at the beginning of this year. What the hell are you doing? He was using Jonnu Smith, the tight end, not even your best tight end, to run the ball as a running back. Yeah. It was,
there were quarters when Bijan had like 3 carries. How do you explain that? You can't get momentum going in a ball game with having your star running back get 3 carries. And by the way, I mentioned that I wasn't watching a lot of the ball game. I would tune in and out. In fact, when you mentioned, I did see the point. I tuned in and remember seeing, oh my God, it's 14-14. They have a chance to maybe pull this out. I swear to God, I'm not making this up, Pete. Next time I tuned into the game, it was like 37-14. I thought, what the hell happened? Or like 42. I said, oh my God, what the hell happened in like 4 minutes? It's unbelievable. Jeez. Anyway.
What happened was you tuned in, you black cat.
See, there you go. I'll never watch again.
You're worse than Arthur.
I really couldn't play 14 to 14. It was like 39 to 40 or something. Holy criminy. Oh, well.
It was interesting because the first time we heard about Arthur Blank was in New Orleans when all of a sudden they called a surprise press conference and in he walks. They announced they've sold the Falcons. It was like, what?
Yeah.
And Dan Reeves had a look on his face like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
What's going on here? So it's ironic that, this all will happen down in New Orleans, the final game of Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
Falcons have the 8th pick in the draft again. If they want a great young quarterback, they're going to have to trade up. A lot of people talk about Michael Penix Jr., who is really exciting, but he's got injury problems in the past. He's kind of fragile, and I'd be kind of afraid to take him in the NFL. But he'd be better than what we got.
Well. Or trade, maybe someone who's got is there a good tradable quarterback that we could trade up for and swap our pick?
No.
To get somebody already
See,
playing.
that's the scary thing about bringing a Kirk Cousins in here or a Russell Wilson. There will be nobody in that stadium next year if they do that. Because Kirk Cousins will win you 10 or 11 games, and you'll bow out in the first round like he always does. He's not a winner. That's just he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's not a winner. NFL playoffs start Saturday. Spoiler alert, no Falcons will be involved.
Oh, goodness. And no one else will be able to watch it either. So there's no game this Saturday. There's no playoff game, ladies and gentlemen. So you might as well do something else because, I'm just going to hit some balls, man. I'm going to be at the stable, maybe see what Flounder and Pete are doing, take a little drive up in the mountains and relax. There's no ball game to watch, no playoff game. Why would you have a playoff game on a Saturday playoff game and not have anybody watch? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pete. You were saying.
In the NFL's arrogance, they know nothing they do outside of burning a giant U.S. flag on the 50-yard line before the Super Bowl while force-feeding Bud Light to orphans will make you tune out. So knowing that, they're placing one wild card game on the Peacock Network. Not the NBC network, but the NBC little brother network, Peacock. Now, I happen to be one of the 14 people with the Peacock Network, so I don't care.
Yeah, well.
I'm watching. The only reason I got it because that Jesus series, The Chosen, is on there, and I've been watching that, which I highly recommend, by the way. But now, how many subscribers does Peacock have? What do you think?
It's a national thing or worldwide thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be millions. It's got to be 80 million, I'll say. 40 million. 40 million.
Lower.
2 million.
Lower.
7 million. 7 million.
30 million, which
30
is more
million.
than I thought they had.
Yeah.
30 million. But not only is the NFL putting a wild card playoff game on a small network most people don't have, they're openly bragging about it on their commercials Saturday at 8 p.m. only on Peacock. Outkick.com says this is a test run for putting playoff games on pay-per-view.
That's right. That's right. And it's also a test run to say people like me can go to hell. I mean, people who are no longer in the social media, check your phone every 9 minutes. I mean, there's a breaking point at some point of people in their 40s or whatever it is. And above that, guys like me are saying, now, wait a minute, I have to go get a whole new freaking network to watch a football game? Kiss my ass. How about that? I mean, and I'm angry about it. I mean, why should I have, it's like Glenn Beck. Every freaking morning he says, we're going to talk about politics, but if you want to hear the real story, don't forget to sign up for Blaze TV. That's coming up tonight. That's my new TV. If you sign up for Blaze, you'll get all the real stuff, and now back to the lesser stuff here on the radio. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable. I don't want to have to sign up for anything to watch something. It should be freaking available every day of my life until right now. This is the first time in my lifetime where I will not be able to watch a football playoff game on the NFL because they don't give a crap about the Kimmer or anybody like me. Simple as that.
Yet you found the Red Zone? You found that.
It's on cable, and so is The Chosen, by the way. I watch that because it's on cable. Well, it's not on my cable. Is it on my Comcast?
You're paying $5,000 a month.
Yeah, $28,000 a month now. It went up to $28,000. It's going to $42,000 next month. It's going to go up again. The Comcast, special.
The Commanders have fired head coach Ron Rivera, who had like 3 winning seasons in 13.
Boy, were they after
Martindale.
him. The fan base.
Wink Martindale.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. Wink Martindale has resigned as DC of the New York Giants. He's also stepping down as host of the game show Tic Tac Toe. So
I think it might be a different wink there, sir.
Different wink on
different
there.
Wink.
College football's national championship tonight in Houston, Texas. Michigan favored over Washington. If the Wolverines win, expect head coach Jim Harbaugh to hightail it to the NFL before the NCAA catches up with them, likely ending up in L.A. with the Chargers, even though I would take him here. 24/7 Sports has already put out the lines for who will win the title next season. Georgia is plus 480, Alabama 550, so those are the top two. And let's see, we got the 2024 College Football Hall of Fame class announced here at the Hall of Fame in Atlanta. And here's just a few of the players: Tim Couch, Warwick Dunn, Armonte Edwards, Larry Fitzgerald, Toby Gerhardt, Dan Hampton, Antonio Langham, Randy Moss, Julius Peppers, Dewey Selman, Alex Smith, and Kevin Smith are some of the players that will enter into. And coaches, Mark D'Antonio, who coached where?
Oh, mercy, I don't know. Mississippi State. Ole Miss, famous Ole Miss coach. Arkansas, Michigan State. Okay, there you go. Oh, he's the one that got fired because of the girl thing. Wasn't that the guy who got fired? But who did the girl thing? He said he wanted to kiss her on the mouth or something.
No, that was
me. I forgot that was me. I wanted to kiss her on the mouth. That's right. That was me.
And Frank Solich of the Cornholers, he's also getting into.
Again, I never thought I would hear the day when I could hear you describe something like that on a public radio station.
It's a game. Well, you can buy it at Walmart.
Not in New England in the 1960s. It wasn't a game. I was going to talk about on the radio.
And finally, Tiger Woods is ending his 27-year-old arrangement with Nike after $500 million. One golf fan said, "It's like my parents getting divorced all over again."
Well, he's toast, and so what the heck? But still, he's their brand name guy. I'm kind of amazed.
Yeah. Him and Michael Jordan made Nike.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Well, hell, didn't a pair of Michael Jordan sneakers just go for like $150,000 or something in an auction? Also, I was reading that some people are upset with the new Nike basketball shoes for some reason. They're disrespectful for somebody, or they cost too much or something. I don't know.
I have a pair of 80s Michael Jordan's high tops. They're red and white. I wonder how much they're worth.
I'll bet they're worth a bundle. I bet you could go on Google right now and find out.
I bet I could.
Outstanding. Good for you, sir. Quick, are we okay here, Founder? I got like two quick things. A couple of quick sports things here. On this day in 1927, the Harlem Globetrotters played their first game in Hinckley, Illinois, 1927. Have you ever seen them in person?
They would come to Atlanta every March, and my dad would take me. It was for my birthday, me and my sister, and we'd have our birthdays.
Was Meadowlark Lemon still with him, or was that after he retired?
Yes.
Yeah, Flounder, did you ever see Meadowlark Lemon and the boys?
I saw the Globetrotters, if that's who's on the team, if that's who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, if you saw Meadowlark Lemon, you'd know. You didn't see him because Meadowlark was the guy. Anyway, 5:32.
Curly Neal.
There's another one. Yeah. 5:32, Kim Repeat and Flounder. Let's go. Stand by.
Normally on the morning show, we talk to everyone, but right now I want to talk to business owners. Hey, it's Tug. Do you need $250,000 or more to fulfill a dream of growing your business? Buying a building, building a building, buying out your competition, or buying into a franchise? And look, all the banks, they're in turmoil right now. They're afraid to do anything or loan to anyone. That's why you need to consider my friends, the Frost family, at First Liberty Building and Loan. Go to firstlibertyga.com today. Fill out the simple form and see if you're a good fit for their program. See how they can help you, even in these crazy economic times, to grow your business. FirstLibertyGA.com. The Frost family have been helping businesses since the 90s. If you've got an opportunity, if you've got an idea, find out if First Liberty Building and Loan and the Frost family can help you achieve your goal. Make your dream come true. The banks aren't going to help, but now you have a secret weapon. The Frost family at First Liberty Building and Loan. FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
I got a question. Is your dog a picky eater? Or maybe has bad breath, dull coat, low energy, or even some digestive issues? Greetings. I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, founder of Rough Greens, and for decades, I've taught humans how nutrition is critical for our optimal health. Well, the same is true for our furry family members, which is why I created Rough Greens, because unfortunately, dog food is dead food. But Rough Greens is packed with live omega oils, essential vitamins and minerals, powerful probiotics, digestive enzymes, and tons of other things. And your dog will love it. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve their health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens, the easy and smart way to improve your dog's health and longevity. My dogs and I are so confident your dog's going to love it, we're going to give you a free Jumpstart trial bag. All you have to do is cover the shipping. Get your dog a free Jumpstart trial bag today by going to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com.
We never know when the storms are coming, so it's critical that we have a solid roof over our heads. This is Jim Niarchos from the All Four Seasons Home Show. This Saturday morning at 9, our guest will be Accent Roofing. Do you get up on your roof and inspect it for any issues? I don't, and I'm not going to. I want experienced pros and a company I can trust. There's a lot of crooks out there trying to rip us off. We're going to talk about how you protect yourself and choose the right roofer for your home. This weekend on the All Four Seasons Home Show, helping you and the community right here on Extra 106.3.
How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. 5:35 breaking news coming up here. This is Rush. Now, I wouldn't have known this. I couldn't identify Rush, I'll be darned. It doesn't sound like the people I remember hearing many years ago. 1979, Canadian rock band Rush named the country's official ambassadors of music by the Canadian government, Industry sources estimate their total worldwide album sales at 42 million. Rush has been awarded 14 platinum and 3 multi-platinum albums in America and 17 platinum albums in Canada. Wow. Not too shabby. Also, Elvis Presley's birthday, 1935, died in 1977. And I'm going to get a kick out of saying this one, too. The woman who invented speed reading, Evelyn Wood, died today. She was 86 years old.
Sped reader.
The woman who invented speed reading, Evelyn Wood, died at age 86.
Chevy Chase did that joke too in the 70s.
Evelyn Wood invented speed reading, and she died. And I remember I did it on the radio when it was 1995 when she died, and I remember doing it. Evelyn Wood died at age 86. Speed reading. She was 86. My dad was a speed reader. And had a photographic memory, basically. I mean, he could read a book in 30 minutes, and know everything in it. Just unbelievable. What a guy. Wish I were 1/10 the man he was, by the way, for the record.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. It's a horrible story. Also, on this day in history, we got a news. Oh, wait a minute. I had my phone up here for the breaking news thing. Oh, I got it back. No, I didn't either. Flounder sent it to me, and now I don't have it.
You want me to read it? I got it.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Fulton DA Fannie Willis improperly hired an alleged romantic partner to prosecute Donald Trump and financially benefited from their relationship, according to a bombshell new court filing that argued the indictment was unconstitutional.
And apparently the defendant alleged that her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, paid for lavish vacations he took with Fannie Chicken Liver Willis, the disgrace of Fulton County, using the Fulton funds his law firm received to take her on lavish vacations. Calls for the entire DA office to be DQ'd from the case, taken off the case. The filing doesn't have any proof connected to it except to say sources close to them both have confirmed they've had a long, ongoing personal relationship. A Willis spokesman says the DA is obviously a liar and a hater and a black supremacist, hates Donald Trump, would kill him if she had the chance, would have set his body on fire if she was able to get away with it. Those are some of the things that I believe. And so anyway, so there you go. So she'll have to be taken off the case because she's a slimy, scummy hater and a vicious Trump basher and has no business being involved in basically political assassination. But speaking of political things that didn't work out too well, 5:39 is our time. And on this day in 1992, A state dinner held at the Japanese Prime Minister's home was a delectable array of cold salmon with caviar, a clear soup with mushrooms, medallions of beef with pepper sauce, and passion fruit ice cream. Unfortunately, most of the meal landed down President George H.W. Bush's front as he puked at the dinner table after becoming suddenly and violently ill from the flu. The rest of his barf ended up in the lap of his host, who cradled the stricken president's head as he proceeded to puke and pass out. What was worse, while most people have the luxury of hurling in the privacy of their own homes, President Bush I's projectile vomiting was captured on camera and endlessly replayed on television. Late-night talk hosts feasted on the mortifying moment, while a new word for throwing up entered the Japanese lexicon, bushu suru, which literally means to do the Bush thing. But it was the president himself who diffused the awkward diplomatic incident by barfing on his Japanese host with grace and humor. Quote, "Why don't you just roll me under the table," he said to the prime minister as he lay on the floor, "and I'll sleep it off while you finish your dinner." And that was in 92 or something like that. Anyway, 540 with a Kim, Pete, and Flounder here. Our number 404-741-1230 if you want to join us. 741-1230. The Falcons.
A little warning for the people.
Yeah, a warning, yes, sir.
Batten down the hatches. It's starting to blow up here, and tomorrow it's supposed to be really nasty. Wind and rain coming down.
Yeah, in fact, as I got a temperature thing, I know there was a storm coming. I don't know whether it's going to be a real cold one. I'm not sure it's going to be dipping into the. It was like 28 or something overnight, but it's been really pretty cold last couple of nights. Anyway,
it's going to be windy.
Yep. All right, we'll keep you posted. If you have, things that don't leave your pets outside, because if you do that, then they turn into, hood ornaments. Let's see, 541 with a Kim, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. The Golden Globes last night, just. I tuned in for a few minutes to see what they were going to do with the opening, and this guy, Joe Coy, a man who I've never heard of, was the worst host and opener of any show of any kind I've ever heard. It was just horrible. In fact, he was so bad, nobody was clapping or laughing or anything. Just, kind of the nervous sort of, let's give him a little something. But then he said when the crowd didn't respond, he berated the crowd. His own people who were listening to him, he said, "Oh, yo, I got the gig 10 days ago, okay? You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up." By the way, that's the same thing that the winner of the monologue, brand new award, the stand-up comedian award for the Golden Globes won. He says, "Yo, shut up. I wrote some of these, and those are the ones you're going to be laughing at." God almighty. Blaming other people there for his flubs? I mean, that's just, God, talk about tacky. I mean, it was cringeworthy. It was totally, totally horrible. He made a joke about, in fact, do we have the sound of this guy making the Taylor Swift joke? I don't know. I forgot if you had that one.
Yes, we do.
Here's what we said about the Taylor Swift comment here quickly. From the Golden Globes last night.
Welcome back, and as you know, we came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, Taylor Swift remained straight-faced, taking a sip of her drink. And she said, some of the A-listers said, "Boy, if Taylor Swift glared like that at me on national television, I'd walk right out of there and leave the country." Taylor Swift did cheer loudly as Emma Stone was awarded the Golden Globe for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture. And Taylor Swift did a selfie with Barry star Bill Hader and reunited with a longtime friend, Selena Gomez. They were all having a ball out there. Her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, did not play in the Kansas City game against the Chargers because they'd already clinched a spot in the playoffs. And by the way, Pete, one more sports thing. Let me ask you about that. If Travis Kelce had received as few as, I think, 16 yards of receiving in that game, he would have set another record for the most seasons in a row, or the most seasons collecting more than 1,000 yards in your receiving yards. And yet he said, as I understand it, he said, I wasn't the coach who kept him out, but afraid he'd get hurt or something. As I understand it, Travis Kelce said, well, it's silly to go in try to get 16 yards for my own personal benefit. What the heck, will let the other people play the game, and I don't want to sound like all I want to do is try to go get a record. I don't know. Do you have a comment on what? That sounds like a gentlemanly thing to do, and he didn't want to, risk some for for another personal accolade.
So he's got, 7 in a row instead of 8?
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, he had a chance to hurt himself when they already got their playoff spot and everything. Yeah. That was the right decision.
Yeah, and I think it was a humble one, and I think it was probably the right thing to do, especially since other guys would like to play. It's still football, and you're doing it for a living. So, I think I'm okay with that. Let's see. And again, I don't know if we have worth playing the sound again, but Jim Gaffigan, the guy with the hot pockets, the comedian guy, came on. And he made a big show about saying for the first time ever, we're going to have a category for stand-up comedian at the Golden Globes. And everyone going crazy. And then the stand-up comedian award went to Ricky Gervais, who they hated and barely clapped for because he was the one who roasted him a few years ago.
But the big one was, and we started playing and stopped, if we could play that again, Flounder, was when he basically called them out as pedophiles there, everybody in the room. And the reaction...
The Golden Globes. I mean, I can't even believe I'm in the entertainment industry. I can't. It's so unlikely. I'm from a small town in Indiana. I'm not a pedophile.
Wow.
I just...
Yeah, you got a little zapparoonie there. Anyway, when he announced the winner of Ricky Gervais, the crowd was half boos because he was the one who roasted him in 2020 about being a bunch of pedophiles and supporting Jeffrey Epstein and all other guys. Anyway, I thought it was kind of ironic that they made a big deal about having the new category, and the guy they picked was the guy they hate, who hated them and made fun of them. So anyway, whatever. So, all right. Is that a phone call, Flounder, or are we just...
we can take this call, absolutely.
Well, when we come back, what do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll get it when we come back.
Okay, 5:46, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and another Flounder's Funny, I'll bet you, somewhere in there, and we'll have all kinds of stuff coming up here. All right, look out. Here we go. Stand by.
A new Braves season is around the corner, and tickets are on sale. The Braves home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups, including the Texas Rangers in April, Red Sox in May, and Phillies in July. Plus, you better get your tickets now for when Shohei and the Dodgers head to Truist Park in September. 2024 will also be more amazing gate giveaways, like the Ronald Acuna Jr. bobblehead trio commemorating his record-breaking season. Replica chain giveaways featuring Michael Harris II and Orlando Arcia, a City Connect replica jersey, and the list goes on. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the amazing giveaways throughout the season and purchase your tickets. And fan favorite specialty ticket packages are back in 2024, including the Military Appreciation, Father's Day Catch on the Field, Star Wars, and more. Visit Braves.com/packages to see these special packages and the exclusive items that come along with your game ticket. Atlanta Braves baseball for the A.
2024, the start of another new year, and you've got some goals. If one of them is popping the question to the love of your life, I can help. I'm Jaron Solomon from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. For generations, my family has been helping couples tie the knot with hand-designed engagement rings and wedding bands from Solomon Brothers. Do they have their heart set on a custom ring? Have they told you all about it, shown you pictures? At Solomon Brothers, we can help you create it. Whether they prefer white, yellow, or rose gold, silver or platinum, an oval, cushion, round, or princess cut diamond, we can help you design the ring of their dreams. Want to see what's possible? Visit SolomonBrothers.com and click on engagement rings and check out our ring builder. You can view different styles, colors, cuts, pricing, and more. And right now at Solomon Brothers, when you buy an engagement ring setting with us, you can get a 1-carat natural diamond for only $19.95 or a 2-carat natural diamond for just $49.95. Visit us today in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Peachtree City. Shop online at SolomonBrothers.com.
Horizon Background Screening is a fully licensed and insured private investigations firm that focuses on litigation support for law firms, criminal defense cases, and background investigations. We are also FCRA compliant and process pre-employment background checks, tenant screening, and background checks for volunteer organizations. Whether your business is a law firm needing anything from scene investigations to witness interviews, or a company that requires pre-employment background checks, we have the experience you need. Visit horizonscreening.com to learn more. That's horizonscreening.com.
Job seekers, stop the endless job hunt. The Blue Collar Recruiter is your key to the career you deserve. Are you a skilled worker seeking the right opportunity? Look no further. We connect you with employers who appreciate your dedication and expertise. Technicians, electricians, plumbers, welders, and more. We've got it all, and opportunities are just waiting for you. So skip the frustration and let us guide you to your next job. Call the Blue Collar Recruiter, 678-916-6145, or visit thebluecollarrecruiter.com.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House again. It's time to just lock them up. Just lock them up. And I bet you think I'm talking about lying Joe and Hunter Biden. While that's a great idea, what I'm really talking about are things like guns, important paperwork, and extra cash you may have just laying around the house. The deals on safes are hot. Drop by the Atlanta Safe House and save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a quality safe. No appointment needed. Drop by the showroom in Ackworth and let the safe experts help you pick the safe that's right for you. Or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Dun, 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 da, 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 da. The Beatles. I haven't heard this song in, I'll bet you, 40 years.
You said that the last time I played it.
I said about the same song? Well, obviously that can't be true.
I don't play it that often, but it's...
But I'm trying to think of the last time I heard this on the radio, even on Sirius XM or something, and it's been, honest, I'll bet it's since the 70s. Anyway, and how you doing? Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 551. 1966, the Beatles started a 6-week run at number one in the album chart with Rubber Soul, their 7th U.S. chart topper, went on to spend 56 weeks on the chart. Rubber Soul was the group's first release not to feature their name on the cover.
This was the first album kind of where they started to take a different direction from your Beatles to the Beatles, me and Pete.
66, and but by 67 they were starting to do twangy thing with the sitars, in 68 or something about that time.
Can you imagine a pop group coming out today with a song about "I'm going to kill you if you date another guy"?
Well, hell, Gary Puckett in the Union Gap, Lady Willpower, give it up, baby. I mean, come on, you're a woman now, young girl, you're a woman now. He can't do any of those songs
anymore.
Murder.
That's murder.
Yeah, I'll kill you. Anyway, the group started a 3-week run at number one in the singles chart with "We Can Work It Out," their 11th number one single. So that was kind of cool. Quick birthday thing. R. Kelly is 57. Is he still in? I think he's still in prison, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he'll be there for the rest of his life.
For a long time. There's another charge, I think, still pending, or I think he's got at least 2 against him. Wow. And anyway, R. Kelly, 57. And let's see. Robbie Krieger is 78. He's the guitar player for The Doors who wrote "Light My Fire." I can imagine now he was sitting around saying, I'm going to write a song. I want to make a really cool song. How about "Light my fire, light my fire, light my fire, light my fire"? I think that's it. Hey, guys, I got a new song. Oh, sorry. Put a lot of effort into that one, I guess, probably.
By the way, that was written, that was his first song he ever wrote. And as he likes to say, it was all downhill from there. It was a huge hit. But it was because Jim Morrison said, I write all the songs. You guys need to write some songs. And he goes, that was the first one I ever wrote, and I never came close to it.
Well, that's got to be one of the enormous hit for them, even though it was nothing. It was just the same thing over. Light my fire, light my fire. Oh, my God. Anyway, whatever. They're better than I am, I'm sure. It's not me. 1835, the national debt was completely paid off under Andrew Jackson. We had a 0 balance for the national debt in 1835, the first and only time ever. We've had
There's
no
no reason.
national debt.
No reason.
Well, it's spending too much money. I mean, they just keep doing it. And now apparently they have a new deal. I don't even want to talk about it. A new, I got it here, and I think I threw away the story about they're coming up with a new deal now for the budget to avoid a government shutdown. And again, the Republicans are caving, and the border security stuff, they'll cave just like they always do. Bunch of freaking idiots. In fact, let's see if I got a story thing. I don't care.
Real quick, we got Trucker Joe wants to chat with you about smart TVs.
Excellent. Trucker Joe, you're on the radio, my friend. How's it going? Welcome. What's up?
Hey, Kimmer. Trucker John, not Joe. But
Trucker John.
Sorry about that.
That's it. We abbreviated.
That's all right.
We just abbreviated.
Yeah.
The J-O part.
It's J-O-N, so I only have 3 letters
we left
like
off
Joe,
here. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, look, just real quick, since I've got the same Xfinity package you do. Mine's slightly more than your $28,000 a month, but we're close.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But you should have the smart remote, and there's a button up at the top in the center that looks like a speaker. And if you hit that and just talk into it, all you got to do is say NFL playoff on Peacock, and it'll take you right to it.
I don't have a smart TV. I have a fairly new TV, but it's not the upgrade, and I don't have the smart remote thing. Well, in fact, they've been bugging me. I'll get a text every once in a while. You need to turn in your equipment and upgrade your equipment. Yeah, if I do that, I lose 150 hours of all the stuff I've got in my library. So I don't turn it in.
Like once a month.
Take your remote in and tell them you want the smart remote.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks, Trucker John. I really appreciate it, man.
He's not going to do any of that.
I should probably do that. I'm not going to do it, but I should. Well, it's just I don't. I need a wife. Sorry. 5:55. Here we go. Anyway, that rocket that was going to take the remains of George. Oh, God. Send me a message next time. Jeez, the shot my nipple. What do you got in there, Flounder? What's happening?
All right, this is a little more of an edgy one. This is Shane Gillis,
Shane.
So here we go. Him talking about his Navy SEALs.
Oh, excellent.
This is something I'm dealing with. I recently found out that the girl I'm dating, her ex is a Navy SEAL. That sucks. That sucks, dude. That's the worst ex of all time. I spent my whole life thinking, black guy, worst case on this. By the way, I mean that with all due respect to the black community, dude. For real, I wish people feared my like that. Nah, dude, Navy SEAL. I do this thing. It's not a good thing, but whenever I'm dating a girl, I always talk on her exes. And normally it's easy. Normally it's like, what's your ex do? He's a substitute teacher. It's weird he wants to hang out with kids like that bad. This one's tough. This is a tough ex to make fun of. Just when I'm walking around the apartment all day, they're kind of if you really think about it. You know what I mean? Like using night vision, sneaking up on guys. That's a coward's way to fight, dude. You know who's actually brave? Al-Qaeda. That takes courage and bravery. Just in pajamas, throwing rocks at tanks. Zero military training, dude. Those dudes, they had one set of monkey bars. That's what they all trained on. They were proud of the monkey bars. You remember that video? You've seen them using the monkey bars. They filmed themselves using the monkey bars and then sent that tape out to the world like, not bad.
I love it. And that Shane Gillis, is that what you said?
Yep,
Shane Gillis?
Shane Gillis.
Yeah, funny guy. 5:57 with the Kimmer, Pete, and the Flounder. Now, let's see. Oh, this is in Missouri. At the Jefferson City Diocese, Father Ignacio Medina has been stripped of his hearing confessions and holding any church office and giving the holy scriptures and stuff to any public congregation because they caught him hitting on and soliciting sex from women in the confessional. He'd have them tell what they were doing, and then apparently, boy, that sounds like fun, or I don't know. I mean, oh my God, a priest. And they caught him hitting on the women and trying to talk them into sex acts while they were confessing their sex acts.
It's the same as why you can't hunt in a baited field.
It's really not fair to somebody. Oh, my God. Our Lady of the Lake in Lake Ozark. Oh, by the way, it also says he's still a priest. And he's gotten support. He's a retired priest now, so he's getting support, and it's free life, free care the rest of your life. They have the nuns come in and do your laundry for you, and they give you meals and everything. You just live in your little house, and that's a ball. You have a car.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I had no idea Arthur Pendragon was from the Ozarks. King Arthur, the Lady of the Lake. The
Lady of the Lake, that's right. He pulled it out of the stone, and he was the king, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, and also, apparently the rocket that was going to take the remains, actually some billionaire donated some hair follicles with the DNA of George Washington, John Kennedy, and most of the late cast of Star Trek, and it's going to be on a rocket going into space forever. Although the rocket's got an issue, so we'll find out whether they're going to do it. But hey, more of that. Anyway, tomorrow we do it all over again. It's totally Kimmer. Gotta go. You're killing me. Pete and Flounder. Look out. Herp home.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
On the campaign trail, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden spent part of the day going after former President Trump during a speech at a historically black church in South Carolina.
Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston was the site of a mass shooting targeting black worshipers in 2015.
The word of God was pierced by bullets of hate, of rage, propelled by not just gunpowder, but by a poison.
President Biden tied the lost cause of the Confederacy to lies he says today threaten to damage the country.
Once again, there's some in this country trying to turn a loss into a lie.
In a reference to former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, the president also said there